to the Play Some Video Games podcast. I am one of your hosts, Delvin Cox, and with me on this podcast this week is the vanilla to my chocolate, Mr. Donnie Reese. How you doing, brother?
Doing well. Good mood.
Also with me on the podcast is the vanilla to my chocolate, Josh. How you doing, Josh?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm here. I'm happy to be here. That's what I should say. I'm happy to be
Absolutely.
here.
We have
Spiffy shirt you've got on.
Episode today. Great shirt.
2020, good year.
Right.
Some would say legendary year.
Uh-huh.
Or infamous, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. Same.
So, before we get to the festivities, are you guys ready?
Oh boy.
We're tasting game cartridges.
Yes.
So you thought this through. Are you just going to like pop it in there and swirl it around, or are you going to like lick it?
So he gave fucking $8. What y'all doing?
I'm just saying. I'm just tell me about your tell me about your technique.
Now, so let me ask the
Are
question.
you more of a mouth guy, like a suction mouth guy, or are you more of like a tongue flick?
Depends on the woman, but we're talking about the cart.
Are we?
Maybe.
Just pop it right in your mouth. That's all you gotta do.
So I should pop it in or should I lick
Gurgle some carts.
I agreed to lick it. So which side should I lick? Should I lick? Because see, for those who don't know,
the side
this
with
is
the
Cuphead.
contacts on it.
This is Cuphead. So I lick the side with the contacts on it, right?
Appropriate.
This is
Okay.
This is illegal against Cuphead somehow.
Yes.
You have criminal standing.
Cuphead
water here, just in case if I throw up.
Can
I don't think I will.
you raise your camera at all?
No.
Because I'm looking at half of your head the whole time.
See, what's happening is my triple monitors is so heavy, it's weighing and it's bringing it back down.
What a humble brag.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
My $78 monitor.
Yeah, I was like, is that a brag? I don't think it's a brag.
There's the humble part, the $78 monitor.
So, all right. Y'all are ready?
Here we go.
1, 2. Oh, by the way, this is Delvin's cartridge. So if you're watching this, son, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're going to have my DNA on your cart.
Why don't you get all in there? Roll back the clock to 1932 when you were 18 years old.
Yes. This is so nasty shit.
I feel bad for both you and me. And we were equally victims in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't enjoyable for anybody, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
No, that wasn't enjoyable for anybody.
Hope you got your $8 of that one, because this cart, it tastes bad, but it's like if you like, I don't see how it would, maybe because this cart
The whole
probably
point is
old.
to make a child spit it out.
But I don't see how this
They don't
will
power through.
Yeah, this is not
Never
like a
wants to swallow it quicker.
It's not powerful enough. Maybe I didn't get a good lick. Maybe I should lick it again.
The other side, maybe. Maybe it's
Okay,
been
let's try.
used for some time. Maybe it's.
That's what I'm thinking, because it's not as strong as I expect it to be. So let me try the other side.
You got any 9-volt batteries around too? You can pop in there?
I've tried that. I don't like that. All right. I'm going to try the Cuphead. I'm going to lick Cuphead's face. I'm quite sure this is not problematic at all.
For science.
No, you're just going to get
I'm gonna laugh if you're
labels.
sick next week. You missed the show. Your ass is back in bed again.
Dying. This COVID covered cart.
Delvin's like, I put that cartridge in my armpit.
Yeah, probably put it in his ass.
Oh,
No, whatever.
lower. Yeah.
No, see, oh.
All right, 1, 2, 3. I tasted on that one. I tasted it there. I in fact tasted it. It's bitter.
Yeah.
Not good.
I mean, you've proved that intellect is cannot be deterred by this. That's what you've proven. Because even with the coating, you tasted it twice. You were like, that wasn't good enough. Let's try it again.
I didn't want to cheat the person out of $8.
Wow.
I wanted them to get their money's worth.
Sure. So that coating can stop, those with common sense, but there's an intellect that coating won't even get to.
Not me. $8 is on the line. When you got $8 on the line, You gotta go for it.
What is that? Is that like a hash brown at McDonald's these days?
Yeah,
Oh
probably
God,
like
maybe not.
gonna be like-
That is-
maybe not even.
We're gonna be like Sri Lanka soon. We're all just walking around with like $1 million in our pocket and it buys like a pack of M&Ms.
yeah, not with these tariffs. Not a half
It's one of my
round.
favorite episodes. You guys ever watch like Top Gear, the Grand Tour?
Yeah. Yep.
My
I watched
favorite
one
episode.
episode.
I think it's like Cambodia or Vietnam. They give them each like 50,000 rupees or dinero or whatever it's called, and they have to like buy a car with that to complete
Yeah.
the drive. But they find out that 50,000 is like $2,000,
Yeah.
and they end up
get,
getting like
far worse
mopeds and
cars.
stuff. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
I see where the problem lies at now.
You're not gonna lick
I
another
didn't-
one, right? It's not
No,
like
no.
a
You gotta
different
put
cartridge.
more in
No,
there.
no.
You gotta lick more.
I didn't take in consideration that the taste from the cartridge would get on my lips. So now when I taste them, I drink anything, it tastes like the cartridge. This is not good.
There you go.
Yarden, nobody asked us for any horror questions.
That would have been
None
great
of
to
that
ask.
happened. Yeah.
This would have been the episode to
This
do it.
episode is just Decade of Horror, right?
No,
Yeah, I'm-
it definitely won't be that long. I
No.
apologize.
Right. I watched 2 movies this year.
Yeah,
We don't-
this
we don't
year,
have
Decade of
enough-
Horror is going to be about 20 minutes based on how it's
Right.
going so far.
we have to just get more liquor for Donnie. Maybe we should just start a fund where people just send Donnie
I
liquor
haven't-
for Decade of Horror.
Here's hilarious. This isn't an intentional thing. I want you to know that.
Okay.
I wasn't like setting out to try and do this or anything. You know, I haven't drank in like 3 or 4 months.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's good.
It's not that I'm anti-drinking or trying to stop. It's not. I'm not trying to turn that into a bit or anything. Like, I just kind of stopped, and I don't know.
Haven't had the urge?
Yeah, like kind of. Like I just kind of stopped one day and just that's been it. Like I'm still open to doing if I really want to or something, but like I haven't. Now
Sure. You're in a slump.
I've been smoking maybe a little bit more, so maybe I'm just trading one for the
Maybe
other.
smoking has taken the place of it.
Perhaps, but not
maybe-
really like a lot. I don't think. But yeah, it was just something my wife brought up. She's like, "Yeah, you really haven't." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right."
So, yeah.
Because I think
So-
I think what happened is I think I got really busy for like a month, and then like that just kind of curved the habit.
Okay.
Like I kind of got
Yeah.
out of habit of drinking.
So you're saving your liver, but hurting your kidneys. Not your kidneys. Your
I guess.
No. Lungs.
lungs. Yeah. That's fine. It's just like the operation game.
And just focus
Save
on
one
a new
part,
area.
something else go bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, just focus on the area. That's fine.
It's just interesting. Something
I
to
do the
talk about.
same thing with food.
I'm
Yeah.
like
Stuff I don't
surprised that
roughly-
nobody's really like brought it up or anything because that was a bit, right? That was like my thing for a while.
I did notice you weren't drinking during the show, but I always thought that, he's just. I don't see
I
his
think I
drink.
just like got tired of going to the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I gotta go to a
That
whole
makes sense.
different store for this.
how to solve alcoholism.
No
Make it
delivery options.
Make it difficult to get to the store.
Yeah. I get that.
It's more of a lazy thing than anything else.
It's a destination thing now.
Yeah, it's like
And I appreciate that Uber Eats is trying to make me alcohol, all that, because they keep sending me like, "Hey, you want 40% off your alcohol?" I'm like, I don't drink, but what if we make
You
it
do now.
50%? like they just keep every time I order something to eat from, they're like, "Hey, you want some free alcohol? We'll give you 80% off alcohol." Like, I don't want any alcohol. I'm like, all right.
Done told you, Tim. Loch Ness monster.
Yeah,
Ain't got no
Keep
true
trying.
fitty.
$3.50.
You need more Florida stories, so you got to keep giving them free alcohol.
I have one. I have one today. Well, let's go with Josh first. How's your week been, Josh?
That's too early to tell. It's been fine.
The week's halfway over.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
It's too early to tell. We'll see how the Celtics do tonight, and then we'll see how that goes.
Talk about a series that I just
I'm
Yeah.
out.
I don't no win for me.
They sent our ass home. My son's in shambles.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that, by the way.
Florida man arrested for pooping on possum in public.
In public.
That's today's.
So it would
Florida
have been
man
fine if it
headline.
was in private, but it says it was
That's
in public.
today.
He's like,
Yeah,
I
that
found
sounds
this.
about
Yeah, he found a possum like in a public area and decided.
That seemed like a very
Florida
difficult thing to
woman-
do.
Florida woman calls 911 for stolen weed. arrested for outstanding warrants.
Well, there you go. There you go.
What were we talking about?
Just
Josh saying that
my
we're
boring
still
week.
young. I'm like, it's
Oh yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
it is.
an asshole.
I feel like it's young. I feel like the week just started. It's been fine. I work at a company that's half American, half Chinese, so we're dealing with
Sony?
these
You're
ups
on
and
the
down
damn-
tariffs.
you're on the front.
And what we can and can't ship, and it's been a nightmare. So
Is the locker room divided? Do you guys have like camps?
Yeah.
no, we're all.
I'm picturing, like,
they're all-
prison. Like you all get like a cafeteria tray and you sit on different sides of the lunchroom.
Yeah. No,
I picture
well, I
Ah.
would say the culture clash
He's
is,
like, "Ah!"
is closer to that than not.
Wow. You ever seen that
but-
documentary
No, I don't know.
of the Chinese corporation tries to open up in America?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh,
it's
that sounds interesting.
incredible. I've told you about it before, Delvin. It's incredible. I think it's called like The Company or The Factory or something. I saw it on
I'll look it up.
Netflix.
Yeah.
It's actually, it is a fascinating watch. It's really like it really portrays the difference in culture and
American
philosophy.
Factory? Yeah, American
that's it.
Factory.
That's it.
Okay, maybe I'll check it out.
Because the thing that I'll tell you about it, and I tell you this to try and hook you to watch it.
Yeah.
When you first start watching it, it really paints us as terrible workers and terrible employees.
Oh,
like we were
well,
looking at everything, right?
I see that on my yeah. I see
You
that.
start
comparison
watching
on
it for like 45 minutes, you're like, man, we suck. And then they point the camera back at China and they're like, and here's how this company handles stuff on the home front. And like you see like all these employees living in like the same apartment and like they go to work every day and like their only time for fun is at like the company bar or party or picnic or like they're all together all the time. Like this
Yeah.
dude lives with like 6 other people. He sends money home to his wife and children who he never sees.
Yep.
They get holiday like 2 weeks a year.
Yeah,
And it shows the differences
interesting.
in those two philosophies of building things because like I don't know, the governor or president or somebody gave them like basically like free land or a super cheap deal. It's honestly, it's actually very topical today for our listeners with all the tariff stuff going on.
Yeah.
There's a big push to bring manufacturing home. This is a really great insight of what that might look like and why it's
Not a
not
good
really
idea.
easy to do.
Yeah.
But as I kept watching, I was like, fuck that. Like you get very American. You're like, oh, fuck. Like I'm not the hell with that nonsense.
Yeah, it is very interesting. We have people come over from China a lot to work in office with us and on the production floor with me sometimes. And we have someone who's there now that she's been here for 4 months. They just tell her you have to go to the United States and
Yeah.
help them with work for 4 months. And she just goes to work. She works from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., her choice. And then she goes back to her hotel and doesn't do anything and goes.
There's people
and she's
like
been
that in
doing that for
documentary.
4 months.
This document might hit really home for you. Like it might just be
Yeah, I thought check it out. It might give me some
Wow.
good practices for work too. So
because the
Yeah,
Americans
check it
try to
out.
unionize.
oh
Because
god,
of course
yeah.
we do. And like it's something.
Yeah.
It's quite
Cool.
the watch.
Check it out.
I just added it to my list. I probably forgot to add it last time, but it's definitely on my list now.
I got my boss watch it after I watch it. Hey,
Good
watch what
idea.
you're doing to these people.
You might get some ideas.
It's so funny because they do.
Oh yeah,
like-
good point.
There's lots of like when the tariff wars come. I'm not sure. Did you guys see any like the AI memes of like Americans trying to like make like chips and stuff, and we're all like.
I
flying
can
around
imagine. I
racing
haven't
Yes,
seen
I
it.
have.
So in the documentary, that's like a big part of it. Like they're trying to make glass. The glass keeps breaking, and the manager's like, "You guys have got to get better and up your production." And like the lady's
Yeah.
like, "They can't. They got fat fingers." Like just like
This is the best we can do. Yeah,
pretty much.
we can only do so much with the tools you've given us. Yeah, that's crazy. It's very interesting, but it's been an interesting change in career like path and working with people like that. So it's been interesting.
Hmm.
For
You're
sure.
learning a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
learning a lot about people too, and like that's
yeah, I
really
like
a lot
I
of my
love those
focus.
new exposures.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. You playing anything?
Yes, of course. I'm playing.
Finally,
I'm
somebody
still-
on this podcast.
Still playing
Yeah.
Blueprints. Playing.
Tell our
Clair,
listeners why it's
Obscure.
amazing because
Yes,
Oh,
you
no
have
one
3
knows.
people that just make fun of it since it's been announced.
Well, I understand why people make fun of it. I do, but sorry, my camera's going to keep glitching because I have an
That's
awesome
okay.
Razer camera. Uh,
Ugh.
yeah, I know. I got to get a new one. Yeah, I don't. What's the best way? Okay, so I didn't expect to like this. Like, I don't like The Witness. The Witness is a game that everyone swears is like the best
I don't like it
like
either. So we're on the
puzzle
same page.
game ever.
Yeah.
Fuck the Witness.
Not for me. I agree. I don't like it. I know Kyle really liked it. So hearing about
Suck it, Kyle.
Blueprints, I was like,
Yeah, Kyle.
I don't know that I'm gonna
Witness
like it, but I'll
sucks.
try it. It's on
I
Game
know.
Pass,
Trash.
right?
I never played it.
Um,
Like Blueprints,
yeah.
I looked at The Witness and was like, no.
yeah,
Like, it
no,
kept
and
it
I get
moving.
it. Yeah, I get why people would move on from it, but really, it was just something we popped on, and I put it on with the family. It was around, and it's just I think it's just kind of like stunning right away. It's just very visually appealing. It has a really nice kind of blend of like cell shaded art and non like a mix. It has a very like mysterious story. Like you are uncovering the story as you go through, so it really like appeals to like that mystery box aspect of like things I like, where you're like you don't know what you're getting into, you don't know what you're going to discover, but it's not like
Like
a
the
chore.
detective thing.
I don't feel like it's a chore.
Yeah.
Like The Witness is like, okay, I'm over this puzzle immediately. Now
Okay.
in Blueprints, like you're always it's a roguelike puzzler, right? So you're always
Yeah.
doing the puzzle, but it doesn't feel like it's not the end of the world if you don't solve it where you are, because you have another chance to figure
You
it out.
said 2 words I don't like: roguelike and puzzle.
Yeah, I know.
This is why I never
and-
really, I
yeah.
never myself really considered it.
And if you like, and like for me, also board game appeal, right? So you play
Yeah.
the game by
1 out of
Makes
3.
sense.
opening time. Like you play the game where you have these rooms that you open, which are essentially like tiles in a board game, and the rooms you open have end exits. Some rooms you open are dead ends. Some open have one doorway out, 2 doorways out, up to 7 different doorways, and you're trying to solve this mystery by getting to this room at the end of the house, the 46th room, out of a house that supposedly only has 45 rooms, and it's called the antechamber. And once you get there, well, I don't know because I haven't gotten there yet. But as you progress through the game, you unlock different room types, you unlock modifications to rooms, you find other things hidden on the property, and
Well,
you're
that's like
getting
the run part. Every time your
coins.
run comes, you get different
Yeah.
little. Yeah.
And it's not like punishing like a roguelike. Like you can just end a run right away. If you're
Yeah.
trying to get a specific room, then go ahead, go for it. I like to see it through. You have steps when you start playing. So you start the game with a certain amount of steps. And every time you enter a room, you use a step. If you exit a room, you use a step. Or if not exit, if you go back like into the same room, you'll use another step going into it. And when you run out of steps, you have to end your day, regardless of where you are. But you can also draft dead rooms, so you end up with dead ends all over the place. Have to end your day. So it's really about exploring, solving puzzles. There are like I would call them like lighter puzzles than what you would experience in like The Witness. It has a very Myst feel to me in vibes. Like if you played Myst like I did growing up, it's just like it's a very charming, very intriguing game. Like I just there's so much I could say that would spoil it, and like I
I've
think
heard some
like
of
this
it.
is one of those games you could play one go. Like you could play it for 30 minutes and know if you want to play it more. Like it's very easy to determine how you want to approach the game.
And this game's free right now, right? Like
It's on Game Pass. It's
not
on
free,
PS
but yeah.
Plus. Depending on the levels, I'm not sure the PlayStation levels, but Game Pass. It's on at least Ultimate. I have Ultimate, so obviously Ultimate, but something else as well.
What is
But
this
yeah.
Game Pass stuff?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
I keep
know.
talking about is Jeff and Mike absolutely adore it, and they
Yeah.
talk about the story like it's completely apeshit, like
It's a crazy story.
Really goes places, and I do think that part of it, Delvin, based on what I've heard about it, it's a very story-driven game. Like it's a rogue, but it's not
something
the
I'm into.
rogue element. Like you start, like you die and lose all progress and have to begin again. It's more like a rogue. Like you're constantly. You'll pick up clues in one room that'll help you in other rooms, and so you're constantly trying to piece this together.
Yeah, and you can also, the more you progress, you can also get to points where you can actually like find ways to keep what you're ending your run with sometimes. So you're not always
Okay.
starting from scratch. And there's also ways
I've
to
heard
upgrade
people
like your steps at the end.
I've heard people say that they have the room to advance and beat the game, but they don't want to because they're still trying to uncover other bits
Sure.
and pieces of the story.
There's definitely lots of story to uncover, it seems, and other things like other puzzles out even outside of the house that you can find and explore. So like we're I don't even know how many hours in, but we play the game in days, and we're like day
Yeah.
35, I think, or something like that, and that's lots of hours into the
Do
game.
you have a time
It
limit?
sounds like it's very fantastical.
It has, I don't know. There's certainly some weird things going on in it.
Yeah. Because when you
But
mentioned day, the
it's
first thing I
pretty
thought of, like,
grounded.
do you have to beat it like in a certain day period or something like that? Like you have to
No,
be
no,
like,
no. You don't have to beat it. There's been people who've beaten it earlier in the day count than I already am. So some people I think have beaten it like
It's just
before
how
day
many
30.
steps.
And it's
It's just like
also
a
there's a
tracker.
luck aspect too. Like there's a luck in the rooms you draw. You don't always draw the same rooms, so you draw 3 potentially random rooms. There's certainly ways you can affect how that works, but mostly it's random.
okay.
And it's about how you place those rooms, how you explore those rooms.
Yeah, a lot of
It's
the
a lot of
folks I
fun.
listen to, like this is going to be their game of the year.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be in my top 5 probably.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And then
highly received. We're going to keep hearing about it. Expect
Yeah.
it to probably clean up.
And another game that will be in my top 5 I'm also playing, which is Clair Obscure. Expedition
A
33.
lot of people talk about that game.
It's probably the best RPG I've ever played. But I
Wow.
don't play every RPG.
High praise.
Well, I mean, I don't play every RPG. I call it
Well, you don't
medium.
have
Can you
to
give us
play
like
it.
a batch?
You don't have to play
When you
every
say it's
RPG,
best
but
of, like what are the other contenders?
Well,
in
so
your,
like my
what was your
favorite
previous
RPGs,
best of?
my favorite RPGs are like Lost Odyssey, which is one of my favorite
great one.
RPGs. Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 10.
Great ones.
Like I said, I don't have like it's not
So
a
that's pretty high
huge
praise.
swath of RPGs.
You're like, this is better than Final Fantasy VII.
It's so original. It's doing so many different things that we've never seen before, and it does it perfectly. There's no errors in this game. Like I can't even explain how, like, it's something that you have to experience. That's why I was like, you're not even gonna try like a half an hour at this game, and that's okay. I understand why people don't want to try it because it's an RPG still. But like from the music to how incredible the game looks to the voice acting, all of those things shine equally, including the combat. The combat is fantastic, and it reminds me. I talked about this on Board with Video Games. It reminds me of a game called Shadow Hearts that was on the PS2 forever ago.
Yep.
That used a clock kind of like battle mechanic, where you had each character had like a certain dial, like what's the word I want to use, like a pie chart.
Yeah,
You had a certain part of the clock where you had to hit your timing attacks.
like
It's very
almost like a
similar to
sundial
this.
type thing.
Like a sundial,
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. I remember that game.
Yeah, and that was a great. That was one of my favorite games too back then. But yeah, it's one of those games where I had a very emotional reaction that caught me off guard. I didn't expect to even I didn't realize how invested I was in the story to get the reaction that it got out of me. Really caught me off guard. They did a really good job with that, and they're still doing a really good job. It's very I have no idea where the story is going. It's very unpredictable, which is also part of its charm.
Did you? Let me ask you a question. Did you recognize Charlie Cox's voice when you started playing it?
No.
Yeah, he did
No,
a really
I
good
couldn't
job.
place the voice until I looked up. I had to look up the voice cast. I was ignoring all of the casting things, because they kept putting out these videos leading up to the game, and it's like meet the voice cast, listen to the songs, all that kind of stuff, and I just wanted to be surprised.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was him. So somebody was like, "Oh, that's Charlie Cox." They brought up the main character looks like
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. So I said, let me look it up, see who that is. He looks a lot like Robert Pattinson. I wonder if he did like some voice acting work. Like, no, that's Charlie Cox.
They're just setting it up for a movie. They're like, when we get this to be a film, we can now get Robert Pattinson to star in it. He'll be the right age, and he can look just like him. But yeah, Charlie Cox kills it. He's so good.
Really good.
Yeah, I really like it a lot. So like those two games. I've been playing other games. I'm excited to try see if I like Doom. It looks like I will, based off of some of the early stuff I've been watching. Yeah, like those are the two I'll talk about. I don't want to.
Doom looks great.
Take all the time up.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to unlock. I'll be playing.
Yeah,
Doom looks great.
I have Friday off.
Oh, you took it off?
Oh, nice.
I didn't. Well, I took it off. I'm off Friday. As Josh saying, this week is short. He's just getting there. I'm like clinging to get through tomorrow.
You're at the end of your week.
I'm off Friday. I'm off all of next week because my daughter graduates. Victoria graduates high school. So.
Did you have to get a Corvette too?
So I've got to do a bunch of stuff. I got to go to a bunch of things over the weekend and through next week, but not Friday. I just took Friday because. Like, I was like, I'm not going to work on Friday.
Yeah.
I got time to play some Doom.
I want to comment. A Maker of Chaos in the chat says he's like, there are some things that people aren't talking about Expedition 33, and I will agree. Like, there is some platforming stuff that is a little clunky, like trying to like jump across like ledges and stuff. Like the jump part of the game is a little wonky. It's not like horrible. Like, it's not worse than any like other bad platformer I played.
Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. Like it's also not a platformer, so I can forgive him for having like bad platforming elements. And he does say like some of the side stuff is intentionally too difficult, and I agree. And that's where it reminds me of Final Fantasy VII. And I'm talking about original. Like, you can stumble into places that basically are like, hey, come back. You're not ready for this.
Yeah.
And that's Clair Obscure has some of those moments.
Here's this level 99
but you can go, from what I understand, you can go back. I think there is post game. So I think that's really meant for post game. I have certainly tried a couple of those fights to see if I can like get that, like, because you have to focus, you have to get your parry down. Like, your parry counters are very important to survive like the big attacks. And they certainly do make it difficult, but it's rewarded. Like, there's something good behind that guy. That's really difficult. It's not just like, hey, you fought a boss and he was tough, but you beat him. It's like, oh no, you got this weapon that you can only get from this one boss. So they do make it kind of like Final Fantasy. Like, you have to find the ultimate weapon. You have to go and find the boss in the water, on the like all that stuff. Very similar to that.
I got a chance to hang out with Sean a couple times since last week, and he's playing this game, so I got to watch it because to be honest with you, I've never given this game much any attention. It's just not a game for me, right? People are like, oh my god, it's Final Fantasy. You've lost me. I don't.
Yeah, sure.
It's very funny. I have kind of like two tales to tell. The first night I watched him play it, the chat was livelier, and I think maybe that helped. I was kind of getting into it to the point where I was like, I may need to play this game. Sean's making it look really compelling, and it looks like visually it looks great. Animations are off the chart, right? The monsters and the backdrops and everything is very big. It's very good. Yep. And he's telling me about the combat, and in my head, I've kind of said this before about several other games, but I'm always like, why doesn't Fire Emblem ever look this good? Right. Fire Emblem in comparison looks like a game that was made on PS2 compared to these games.
Sure.
There's been a few of these over the years, not just this style turn-based, but like these like Japanime games. I think it was like Tales of Arise. I was like, man, why don't we get games that look like that? So I was kind of compelled by the look. He's telling me about the combat, and I'm watching, but I'm not listening, but I'm watching it. And I was like, man, this looks pretty good. It's very engaging. You say turn-based. For somebody like me, you think Pokemon, you press a button, you watch the animation, and it's not. It is like an action game. You are constantly pressing buttons because you have to time these parries, which are overpowered parts of the combat mechanic. Like, you can dodge and just do basic attacks, but you'll be there all day because the game is intending the reward is to parry. So I was watching Sean do this, and he's telling me, like you can go and like heal and rest, and like everybody respawns. So it kind of has like some of that Souls design to it. And I came away, I was like, man, I might need to play this game. This looks really good. Maybe I'll download it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And then like 3 nights later, I got on the stream with him again. It was just me and him, so I was able to talk and ask more about the game and really focus on it. And I was like, yeah, I think I've had enough. Like just watching it for about like maybe an hour or two. Like I was like, this looks great. And then the more time I think it kept going, I was like, yeah, no, I really don't think this is for me.
Yeah, you got the gist of it, and you're like, yeah, it's a little samey. I can see that too.
It seems hard. Like I'm not like it seems hard. And we've had a few Discorders where like I put it down on like story mode and it's still hard. And it's because that timing, Delvin, I'm not sure if you could hear while you walked away.
Yeah.
The timing on those parries differ for every enemy in the game, like a Souls game.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out and it's not like one attack. They have combos.
Multiple.
They hit once, twice,
ones,
3. Yeah. And I was like, that's a part of the Souls mechanic, right? Beyond just the difficulty.
Yeah.
The Souls mechanic of like, you have to sit here and learn this movement through multiple phases, that's like energy I don't have for a game. It's not that I can't do it. It's like, I don't want to. I don't think that's fun at all.
I played earlier in the game. I'm not too far on it, but that was the same sentiment. I like it, but I'm like, this is the game I have to sit down and focus on, and I don't have that energy right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. The valid, certainly valid. I think that that difficulty makes the fights more entertaining because like I do get sick of like the Final Fantasy of it all, where it's just like, okay, another 3 of the same bad guys again.
Yeah, you go,
and you just want to get through it.
Yeah.
I do think I don't like. I not only do I not like Souls games, I am not good at them. I'm not finding the challenge of the parries too difficult, but because you have all these abilities that you can give your characters that kind of boost them if they're taking damage. There's ways around it. So you don't have to rely on the parries if you're managing your I think it's called lumens or luminous charts or whatever it is, but
the game gives you alternate paths.
There's a lot of ways. Yeah.
Okay.
And I agree, like if you lower it to story difficulty, I think that's perfect because that's what this game is meant for, is that this great story. And the combat still feels fun. So yeah. But again,
my bad. I didn't know you played it. I was trying to get you to maybe play it.
Oh yeah. No, it's great. I can't stop playing it. It's so good.
Very mature RPG too.
Yeah. Can't play it around the kid. They also swear a lot while they're in the game.
I wasn't even talking about your swearing part. It's just like a very adult.
Oh, yeah, it is nice. I heard someone talking about it's nice to have main characters that are in their 30s instead of 12-year-olds.
They don't talk like Final Fantasy characters and stuff like that.
Yeah. And they have like deep conversations. Also, it's French, so it's Fantasy, super depressing.
I don't know, like envy, anger, vitriol.
Yeah.
It's like every time I hear about the game, I hear it's great, and then I hear something bad about Final Fantasy.
I love Final Fantasy, but I also know Final Fantasy is very whimsical with their conversations and very teen angst almost, whereas this felt a lot more adult, mature. Yeah. It felt like it felt in a place where, I'm like, okay, I don't feel silly like hearing some of the conversations in this game as I feel like playing Final Fantasy games where you have Barrett just yelling out random stuff. And I guess probably because of the Japanese quirks, because Final Fantasy is a Japanese game, that the game has, it kind of is like very evident, like certain parts, like certain line reads and things like that. This doesn't feel like that at all.
Yeah,
just a different feel.
I just think it's funny that they can't like be talked about independent of one another. It's very much like was a Horizon Breath of the Wild like symbiotic relationship. Like they just to pick one, but it seems like every time I hear about one, I definitely hear about the other, positive or negative.
Probably because
don't worry, when I'm talking about Horizon, I'm not talking about Breath of the Wild. ever.
I might have been on the wrong side of that conversation, folks.
We were on the wrong side of that conversation. You were about to come over to the right side of that conversation.
I'm on the right side of that
And Josh,
conversation.
there's a seat open for you too. It's right there. June 5th, you can come join us. As we will both be replaying Breath of the Wild, and I'll be
no, thank you.
I'll be your Sherpa.
Nope.
Delvin, I will Sherpa you through it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
I'll be your AI.
I'll play Breath of
Anytime
the
you have a
Wild
question,
with
you just type in the chat and AI will respond. I will just respond and answer all questions.
I'll play Breath of the Wild with you guys if you play Expedition 33.
No deal. Nope. I'll just play Breath of the Wild anyway. I'll just play Breath of the Wild anyway and call it a day.
Fair enough. I assumed as much, so it was an easy bet for me.
Now I have played all the Horizon games to completion, so like maybe you should try it again anyway, including the Lego game.
The Lego game is great.
Yeah,
it's not really a Lego game though.
Yeah, I didn't. It was like the levels were fun. The base building and stuff I thought was a bit tacked on.
So you see where I am on Breath of the Wild then.
Oh, come on. Not even remotely close.
Yeah.
But it was pretty, and I did enjoy the little romp. It was fun. It was fun.
Okay.
It's decent. One of the better Lego games I've played in a minute. I got to tell you, Lego's not been on a great run with me of late.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, Lego hasn't been good in a few years. Like, a while. I mean, I guess Skywalker, but like Skywalker that's more of a system issue. Skywalker on Switch is just bad. Talk about a game that needs a Switch 2 update. Lego Skywalker Collection on Switch is terrible. But like Lego City, like I loved. I don't know what's in between though. Like what was it? The Gotham, the Imposters or whatever. That wasn't very
DC
good.
villains.
Once they start letting these Legos talk, it started getting a little rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Delvin?
I've been playing some games, but nothing major. Like I play a little Expedition 33. I'm still playing South of Midnight, of course. I played a little bit of the
You're not
last.
done with that yet?
No.
Is it that long, or are you just not playing it?
I haven't had time to play much of anything, but I'm starting to get back into the feel of things as of yesterday. So.
Got it.
So I'm playing a little South of Midnight. I played a little Indiana Jones, which is still good. I'm playing on PS5 Pro, so looks good.
We call that salt, Josh, where every PlayStation 5 Pro owner that plays an Xbox game feels the need to let you know they're playing it on the PS5 Pro. Even though it's been proven,
doesn't make it a better game.
That doesn't really matter about the game. They just have to let you know.
No, we have to let you know.
They have to get they need it to justify the purchase decision they made.
No,
it's like buying a PSVR 2.
Just to let you know,
exactly.
We could have played it on Xbox for free, and we chose not to.
We chose violence.
Well, you think that's a good decision?
Yes,
right.
Very much so.
That's crazy.
We feel justified.
I mean, hey,
by
Josh, it's working.
Yeah,
like it's working.
Oh, look, see,
They're
someone's
getting gears,
watching us on
man.
the PS5 Pro, so there is something to do on the PS5 Pro.
Okay. Want to play Forza? No. It's on PS5 Pro now. Like, okay.
You can't play Forza. You can't.
That's fine.
No, you can't have it.
Yes, we can.
We have Gears.
It's with Concord.
They announced Gears on PlayStation. It's going to come on a blue box. Like what?
Yes. Do you remember?
Is it? No, actually, is it coming in a box? Did we discover? Like, it doesn't.
I think it is coming on
empty box.
No. I remember.
I think it's actually coming on a box. Yeah.
There is a physical. This is in Spain. Now I remember. In Spain, PS5 and PC are getting physicals, and Xbox aren't.
Correct.
In Spain.
Jeez.
And I don't think it's been announced here.
I think Amazon
what we're
had
getting.
a listing for it or something like
Did
that.
it go up?
Let me check.
Because that was all the talk last week. Is nobody knew if Gears was getting a physical release.
I can't. Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess with those numbers, like they might as well just do digital, right?
Right. I think that's the point. Yeah.
Yes. It's not.
And then it'll be like Doom. If it does, it'll be like Doom, where it's not actually on the disc. It's just a code to download. It's a game key card CD.
There you go.
Game key cards. Here we go.
Just the fact that we got it. Remember
the future of gaming.
Years ago, when everybody was cheering about they got the show. We got the show on Xbox. We got the show on Xbox. PlayStation's like, nah, we don't even like the show anymore. What's that? Our highest rated
whole community stopped
Yeah.
caring about
They're
baseball
like, we
immediately.
can't like it anymore.
for years. The show like the highest rated PlayStation game ever.
I heard about that game
97.
constantly. Every time there was an article, a roadmap, an exclusive talk, I didn't even like it, the day it died. It just went away.
Yeah.
I
They
never
were-
heard about it ever
They
again.
were calling it one of the greatest gaming franchises, sports franchises ever.
They've released it
They
like
must
6 times.
they
I
must have
never
forgot
heard
about
it.
High Heat Baseball. They forgot about that one.
Yeah, they did.
The best baseball game ever
They
made.
did until it went to Xbox.
The
Then they
bigs.
were like, "You whore
Oh, the
slut,
Bigs is good
get
too.
away from me!"
Yeah, they just shun it. Yeah, I
They
get. I
treated it like
understand.
it was at a Diddy party. Get away!
There's gonna be a PlayStation Lancer, Josh.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't.
It's gonna be blue, have like a PlayStation logo on it.
I love it. It's great.
This will ruin my week. Talking about PlayStation scalping.
He just leaves the show.
Let's just and you know how we'll fix it. We'll bridge the gap by creating a Forza car skin wrap that has blue meat green.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I like it.
What a joke.
Wait till they bring Hellblade to the PS5.
You
It
can
is
have
critically-
like
So you keep
It's gonna
making
be-
fun of this, but you realize
I know this is happening.
right, but you realize that Xbox's plan is to make their console a PC in which Spider-Man, The Last of Us, and everything will suddenly be on it.
I know that's the
Okay,
plan.
I'm just pointing out. Like,
That's
before
that's
you
the-
go too far laying down stones, just letting you know what you're setting yourself up for.
Yeah, but we already know. But then by then we won't care because it's a PC. It's third
That's
party.
probably true. Yeah, by then we won't care.
Call of
Because we'll have
Moriarty.
played Halo on PlayStation by then.
okay.
I saw a tweet
Don't
from Call of
stop.
Moriarty talk about it. He was like, Xbox is now Sony's biggest third-party platform, so why would they shun it at all? And he's
Yeah.
kind of right. Like,
No,
you have to
he's
talk about
kind of right. What the fuck? You just brought up a tweet about a person you don't even talk to, and you said I've been saying that for a year.
it. You said that?
I've been saying it. What the fuck, Delvin? Are you out
He's
of your
doing it.
goddamn mind?
He's doing the PlayStation thing to you. Don't let him do it.
Right? He absolutely is like, now the PlayStation person said it, now it matters.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Delvin?
Yeah.
I said
More
this back when
victims.
it was grounded.
It was,
I was
licking
like-
the cartridges.
What's
It
the point
affected
in
me.
holding off certain things versus others? If you're going to do it, let's get on with it. I've been saying that since the start.
Yeah, now it's going to be everywhere. Now it's only two.
Oh,
But you-
Colin Moriarty
You guys
said it.
won't give Xbox Uncharted 1, would you? No.
No.
Why would you do that?
lucky.
Petty
wouldn't give you knack.
PlayStation.
Yeah, you're lucky if you get knack.
They
We
won't
don't
give
want
you knack.
knack. You can keep knack. Yikes.
Maybe we'll give you Journey.
Journey. Nobody wants Journey either.
That's pretty good.
You could give us the order and maybe Xbox will adopt it as a good game.
That'll
Unlike
be
all
the
the
new Gears
PlayStation
game.
people who
I
abandoned
wonder how
it.
people will respond to the order on Xbox. I kind of want to see that.
The order was great.
It was a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, son, I always look weird.
Embrace it.
Besides the fact that you forgot to bring me coffee, I sent you a text, you just ignored me, so I had to get it myself. This is why you're going to be adopted.
Damn.
Take you right to the fucking orphanage.
Jesus.
like,
I don't think they have orphanages anymore.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Then
You gotta
fuck it
take him
up.
to the you gotta take him to the firehouse, I think.
Drop them right off at the firehouse.
Well,
Grown
Florida, there's
19
lots of places you could probably take people.
19-year-old kid put in a basket.
That's a funny picture.
There's coffee already in there.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah. Unless y'all want to hear my story about me giving a guy with a DUI a ride to the barbershop who apparently had several DUIs, and he got his main one he got was on a bike. So he can't drive a car anymore. Yeah,
How the hell do you get a DUI on a bicycle?
that's what I said. So long story short,
Wow.
tenant comes in, my job, who I know very well. He's a good guy. He's a nice guy. We're talking this stuff. It's hot as hell outside. It's like feel like it's 90 degrees outside. So he's talking and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, man, I'm finna call an Uber because I have to go. I want to go to the barbershop down the street. The barbershop's like 2 minutes away. And I'm like, it's right by the Chinese shop. I'll take you over there, and I'll go get me some Chinese food for the office. Not the bucket of Chinese, but just
Bucket
got a
of
regular.
rice.
Didn't get the bucket of rice. I got the regular low man because it was two of us. There's not enough for a bucket of rice, So I digress. So I hop in the car. He hops in the car. He said, "Yeah, man, I need to get me a car, but I gotta get my license straight." I'm like, "Why you gotta get your license straight?" He said, "Yeah, I got a DUI on a bike." I'm like, "On a motorcycle?" He's like, "No, a bicycle." I'm like, how the fuck you get a DUI on a bicycle? You hear my son laughing in the background because this is his first time hearing the story.
That laugh is crazy.
So I'm like, how the hell you get a DUI on a bicycle? So he tells me the story, right? He's like, so I go into the people know the lingo because I already said on this podcast. He says, I go into the Arab store, I get me a can of beer, I put it on my bike. As I'm driving home with the can of beer, the cop was parked in front of the store and saw him and promptly pulled him over and gave him a ticket.
I didn't know you could pull over a bicycle.
I didn't either. All this is new to me. He pulled him over on a bicycle and gave him a ticket.
What's the law? Like I still feel like that's got to be a Florida
There's
thing.
no way that guy didn't open that beer. That's
Even if he did,
he said he
like,
did it.
You can't. What are you being accused of? Are you being accused of operating a vehicle while intoxicated? Because like, it's not a
Yeah,
vehicle.
that's a good question.
That's
you
what
a
I was trying to
motorist?
figure out.
You're not a motorist.
You're
Like, what?
asking all the questions I asked. Said, this doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Like, I know. He's like, I know, man, but that's what they told me. He's like, I got a DUI for this. And then I had to go to court, and they said that they suspended his license. No, it was not a motorbike. It was a bicycle. See, Lord Nurse, that's what I also said. Public indecency. That's what I thought it would be.
Oh, okay, that would make sense.
That's initially what I thought. Like, no, they gave me a DUI. Or I thought it'd be like public indecency or public intoxication, something like that.
In some states, drunk biking is not explicitly illegal, particularly if the state's DUI laws only apply to motor vehicles. For example, California has a statute that makes it illegal to ride a bicycle while under the influence. The penalty is a fine. It does not affect your driver's license.
I think it affected his because he didn't know that it was considered a DUI, so he didn't pay it.
Maybe it was on probation.
That man lied to you. That's what I think.
Probably.
I do too.
You want me to
Or,
go
I
this
don't
out?
say
Like,
told you a
maybe he
half
let
story.
Maybe he let out some details.
Yeah,
'Cause
he
I can
probably did get pulled
imagine-
over, but
If he had a couple DUIs, perhaps he was on probation and getting another ticket. You know, like
probably
something like
affected that
would
part.
maybe-
It's possible. But he was like, yeah, I got a DUI. So now I have to go do all the driving school and stuff like that and do the payment plan. Like, you got to do all
Under
that.
Florida DUI law, it is illegal to operate a motor vehicle if your blood alcohol content is above 0.08, and the same standard is applied to bicycles.
There you go.
Wild.
There you
That's
go.
wild.
Yeah.
Florida for you.
Appeal. Take that to the
That's what I
Florida
said.
Supreme Court and be like,
I
this
said,
is
that's-
not a motor vehicle.
This is a fucking bicycle.
There's
You
a
know how many
motor on this
crackhead-
damn thing.
Yeah, you know how many
The only way
crackheads
for me to
ride
get home from
bicycles around
the
here?
package store.
He's going to arrest all the crackheads? That's like half the city. You're going to put half the city in jail? But yeah, he got a DUI on a bicycle. And
That's
now he
wild.
lost his license.
Thanks.
And I took him to the barbershop. He got out. I went and got me some Chinese food. Went back to the office.
They stole your car, and now you don't have a license.
I did come to my office this morning and
Whoa.
noticed, well, I didn't know, not that type. I walked in my office this morning and noticed something very peculiar. Like on the table, like, oh, these motherfuckers was in here getting high. It was just like a joint just sitting there.
Whoa.
And it was just
Professional.
right there.
Professional.
Cleaning crew?
No, there's no cleaning crew. I'm the cleaning crew.
Did you do it then?
No, I didn't do it.
Would you have remembered if
Forget
you
that
did?
you did it?
No.
Yes, I would have remembered. I would have remembered if I got high in my office. But yeah, it was just right there. I think what it was is because I don't know if I ever mentioned this. The company I work for is opening up a marijuana business as well. That's gonna be their side hustle.
So you're researching.
So I guess they probably were.
Send me the hookup, dude.
I got you. Once they're talking about turning. where they were initially talking about turning part of the office into a dispensary or a growing plant, which I think they've gotten conversations like, well, let's not do that.
Those are two completely different things.
They were talking about both of them at one point.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they're not doing that anymore. They're moving it someplace else, and I'm quite sure I'll be able to get some free samples, among other things.
Nice.
But yeah, they were getting high in the office, apparently. Just left their joint there.
That's what they do. Don't be a narc, Delvin.
Oh, I wasn't snitching.
Okay.
I guess I am snitching because I'm on
Yeah.
the podcast talking about it.
You kind of came in here like, let me
Names
tell you
for
about what
names.
these people are doing.
Tell about these.
Overnight, I come in, and these people, like, sound like it. You're like, I'm
No,
going
no,
to
she
manager.
did not put any sugar in it. To answer your question, it's fine. I like black coffee.
Me too.
Like it like my women. Black
Bitter.
and bitter. Yeah. It's fine.
Bitter.
I'm still playing Schedule 1 for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like I can't really let it go. It's really fun, and still playing a little Mario Golf. But I did get a new game in this week, and my order from Atari arrived with my
Oh, it did?
physical copy of Tetris Forever.
That's great.
Nice.
And I adore it. It's lovely. I gotta thank Delvin and Chris and the crew and Greg and Phil at Player One Podcast. I'd never made fun of the Atari collection and everything. I'd probably never given this a thought.
Yeah.
While I don't like the Atari games pretty much at all, shout out to Ninja Golf, which is the
The golf's the only good one.
I did love the package of this whole historian documentary but video game thing. It's a really
Documentary's
great
really
way
good.
to present classic video games to people. I kind of wish this was the template for like all classic collections. Like Capcom do this, Nintendo do, like, this is
I was
wonderful.
thinking that same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I would buy a Kirby one of these and a Heartbeat or like a HAL version. This is so good. And what I think I'm liking most or more than the Atari thing is that this Tetris story is just better, and that's why they made a movie out of it. So I'm really enjoying all the interviews and all the stories in between playing what appears to be, I don't know, like 15 different classic versions of Tetris dating back to like the 70s. And as you progress the story and watch the cutscenes, and they have like all these pictures and documentation of like Atari on like a chicken nugget at McDonald's, like Game Boy thing,
Yeah.
and all this different stuff, this memorabilia.
I remember that stuff.
And it's just fun. I mean, look, I do like Tetris, so it's really fun just to play all these different versions of Tetris. And then the big gimmick is there's a brand new game in it called Tetris Time Warp,
Oh.
where you're playing the game and you get like a special like retro, like Tetramino will be introduced into your game. And if you break a line where that block is, the game will change. It'll like zoom in and zoom out. It'll change to a different era of Tetris. And you'll get like a challenge to like try to complete these lines or get rid of this block or something before it snaps back. So it's
That's
kind of
cool.
like playing them all at once, right? In just one game of Tetris, you can kind of just cycle through all these different Tetris, I don't know, palette swaps.
Yeah.
It's really addictive. The first time I played it, I think I didn't stop playing it for like 2 hours. Like I just played the Time Warp thing over and over and over again. So
It looks
I'm
really
really
cool.
glad that I got it, and happy that I waited for the physical copy. Well, I'm sorry, Josh. What did you say?
It looks really cool. I pulled it up to see it. I didn't even know this was a thing.
Oh yeah,
So it's
yeah.
very cool
I
looking.
think it came out. Did it come out last year?
Yeah, you can get it
Or
on
is it this
Steam
year?
too, which is nice.
I'm not sure when it came out, but it was digital only for a while, and then
Yeah.
they did physical, and I ordered it on the Atari website instead of limited run. I'd be interested to know if the limited run went out at the same time or not. Probably did. But yeah, I did a whole thing on Shack a few months ago where I've bought a few things off the Atari website this year, like several orders. I kind of dig in what they're doing over there, where they're trying to make these modern spins on these classic franchises, but they have a crazy cool amount of merch. And their logos and designs and stuff are pretty iconic, and their website merch alone is pretty awesome just to kind of window shop and just look through.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Atari has some good stuff over there.
Very cool.
yeah, I like the Tetris movie, and for a video game adaptation, it's pretty cool. And it's just like the Nintendo fan in me really is probably benefiting a lot from this because the story of Tetris has a lot of like Nintendo lore to it. So like there's a good cross guide for me there. It's just really cool little collection. I'm like just really happy to have it. Like to have something like this on a physical copy. It's just really cool.
Yeah.
And it might be like the only Tetris I ever need. like this
Seems like it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't
Seems
need
like
new
the definitive
Tetris
edition.
Yeah, between this and then the NSO copy, right? Because the Nintendo licensed versions aren't on this. It's all a bunch of other stuff. It's like the Commodore version, like all these DOS versions and all this stuff from the past. So I think Nintendo can only license out like the Game Boy version of Tetris.
But that's still good. Tetris is pretty much Tetris.
I don't need the Game Boy version of Tetris. Like it's on NSO, and I've played that. That's the one I've played the most of. So I like that I'm almost being exposed to these different versions that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And they do talk, like the story, they definitely talk about Nintendo. So you'll see the Famicom and everything like that too. You just can't play that game in this collection. But there's like 200 versions of Tetris that have been released over like so, And there are other games too. I really like the deep dive they go into like how the I guess it's Alexei, the creator, like how he came up with the game. There's so much like mathematics involved, and then like this old game that you used to play that is like very similar, and I don't know, some of that stuff I never knew, like the history of the inspiration, I guess, for the game.
Yeah, one of the greatest games of all time.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I appreciate that era of gaming because you had to because gameplay was literally paramount at that time. You had to make a game that played good, that worked good, that kind of was just adaptable for everybody. And Tetris is one of those games that just stands the test of time.
Yeah, I am my first ever exposure to a Game Boy, because I never had one, was hilarious. I went and stayed a few weeks in the summertime with an aunt, and she had 3 boys, and she had a Game Boy. Nobody else did, just her, my aunt.
Oh, she was like, fuck
and
them
she
kids.
bought an entire Game Boy just for Tetris.
Yeah.
It was just a Tetris machine, and I tell you, she played Tetris on that thing for like a decade. That's all she did, is just play that.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm having fun. Really having fun with it.
Sweet.
You ready to get into the news?
Yeah, let's get to this new stuff.
Okay. Well, I have to start by saying I apologize if it sounds like I'm slurring my words. I bit the piss out of my tongue at dinner.
Oh.
So I'm like kind of trying to talk around my tongue, and I can hear it. So my apologies. I'm a
That's
little slurry today.
I licked the
'cause
cartridge,
It hurts to speak.
and I still taste the cartridge. So, yeah.
I would if it helped the sore in my tongue. Like I would put it on there. Tariffs update this past week. The U.S. tariffs dropped from 30%, or dropped to 30% from 145%, while China moved their tariffs down on us from 125% to 10%. This is important in a video game podcast, apparently, as we've been tracking what this means as Xbox raised their prices. We've talked about it with the Nintendo Switch 2 since it was announced, and then today we have a lot of talk around Sony and tariffs. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. That's where we are on the tariff front right now. These levels are in effect for 90 days while the U.S. and China continue to negotiate a long-term deal. So they're not set in stone. It's not a done deal.
Yeah.
But the tariffs have come back down to somewhat normalcy. It's still like, I think we're still like 20% higher than we were, or like 15.
Yeah, we're still higher than before.
Yeah. So, as is the news this week, everybody's doing financials. So we have Sony financials to talk about. Currently, PlayStation 5 sales are neck and neck with PS4, as they've sold 77.8 million units to date. That puts them just slightly ahead of the PS4 at the same amount of time. Sony reported a record annual net profit. I've said that word those words like 7 years in a row.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every company is recording a record annual net profit, but they issue a cautious forecast saying, quote, "We hope to manage the impact of U.S. trade tariffs on our business. The approximated impact could be up to $680 million. The overall forecast is set to have a 13% dip in the coming fiscal year." So they're signing the flags like, hey, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Even though we have record profits.
Yeah, I mean, there's that too. Sony has said that it's currently considering raising the PlayStation 5 price due to the current tariff situation in America. And analysts said that Sony will likely be able to deal with the tariffs for the time being, as it has stockpiled inventory in the United States. But if the tariffs do continue throughout the year, the price increase cannot be ruled out. Sony CEO Hiroki Tataki weighed in on the tariffs and said, "These hardwares can, of course, be produced locally. I think that would be an efficient strategy, but the PlayStation 5 is being manufactured in many areas. So whether or not it's going to be manufactured in the U.S. or not, it needs to be considered." This is a hilarious, somewhat quote, because all day long, it got posted in Discord multiple times, and all day long in Blue Sky, I've seen nothing but headlines or posts, tweets. Hey, the PlayStation 5 is going to be manufactured American. It's like that's definitely not going to happen.
Not what they said at all.
That will never happen.
It's not what they said at all. Reading comprehension.
Oh. Yeah. People just hear what they want to hear. Like, it's not gonna. It can't happen. It's just we talk about this at my work all the time. You can't just say something is going to happen and then expect. Well, you can. It happens, right? People just say something's going to happen, not knowing the logistics that go into making something happen. And as much as we might want to manufacture all these things here, we don't have the space, we don't have the people, we don't have the timeline to make any of that happen. Unless they're like, hey, we started building a Sony factory 5 years ago in Wisconsin, and now it's open. So you're like, oh, great. That makes more sense to me than just saying tomorrow PlayStation 5 will be manufactured in the US. Okay, where? With what space? What are you paying your employees? Like, it's just not possible.
How much is that going to cost the consumers?
And how much are you going to, but you pay your people. Like,
when you watch the American factory thing,
$350 an hour to make a PlayStation chip.
But all of that's true, right? Logistically, that would be hard pressed to pull off. But even if you could flip the switch tomorrow, you'd still pay import fees on importing all of those things. Like, I presume you are assembling them here, not manufacturing them. That's
every
a whole
part
different
you use to make it.
Right. So even if you just did like an assembly warehouse here, which you could do much quicker, you're still going to pay tariffs on every one of those parts.
Yep.
Correct.
So I was thinking that I think two things are possibly true. The first being they probably said that to maybe protect any sort of like fear that might be with the shareholders or the share price. Like, yeah, we're looking at it. Maybe we'll get around it. It's like one of those things like, hey, don't dump us yet. The second thing is maybe they're looking to try and get an exception. Maybe that's a part of their negotiations. Maybe they're trying to signal that to their own leadership. Because when we had tariffs before, we had exceptions for video game consoles, and maybe that's like, it's like, hey, maybe we'll assemble it there. Maybe we will make an MOU with you that we will proceed towards manufacturing, in 10 years, and then by then we'll have 3 different presidents, and nobody will remember, nobody will care. Like I kind of feel like maybe there's some gamesmanship here. Maybe that's just me reading way too much into a throwaway statement, but I would be stunned if this actually ever happened. So I was amazed by how many people just took it and ran. Like, he said it. I'm like, yeah, they say shit all the time. They lie to us constantly, but when they give us something we want to hear, we're like, you can't disagree with it. They said it. It's like, no.
They lie to us in our face.
Yeah, they do constantly.
Day.
They
Every
constantly
damn
lie
day.
to us all the time.
Yeah.
So their CFO Lin Tao said that he commented that the increases could be had in other sectors to protect the gaming business, which is an interesting thing. Maybe they're looking to smooth it out through TVs, other devices. Maybe they raise those in other areas. Maybe they don't raise the PS5, or maybe don't raise it as much, or it can protect it in America. I don't know. Q4 2024, which ended March 31st, 80% of all worldwide software sold across PlayStation 4 and 5 was digital. That's up 3% from last year. So last quarter, everybody bought a lot of digital games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which,
Forced into it, almost.
Yeah, our slow march towards the digital inevitability, singularity, continues.
Almost there.
For what it's worth, they forecast an increase in sales revenue for its own exclusive software in the coming year, which, no duh. They really haven't released anything. So, like releasing anything would be an increase in profit from basically what they've released. When is the last first-party game they've released?
Ooh, it's been a while.
Concord?
Sony? You're not talking about remasters?
Yeah, I wouldn't count that.
Did they release Concord?
What is the last one?
I don't know. Astrobot?
Oh, yeah. I guess they did release Concord, huh?
Did they?
Did Astrobot come out before or after
Astrobot, yeah, would be the last
Concord?
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, Astrobot would be before. Yeah, it would be
okay.
Astrobot.
So yeah, I think those would be the last ones. So yeah, like having Death Stranding and Ghost of Yote, yeah, I'm sure it's going to help. I'm sure that business is going to be a lot better next year than it was this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on Sony finances, Mr. PlayStation?
It's what I expected. That's just kind of what it is. They making record profits, and they tell you, "Oh, we don't have enough money to make these games," but every year our profits are going up an absorbent amount,
Exponentially.
Exponentially. You can't tell it. You can't.
That's true.
But this is what they do every time. They're like, "Hey, we got record profits.
Delvin,
we gotta let people go."
you have to help us lower our development costs. It's getting out of hand. We can't afford. It's unsustainable. The whole business will crash.
Yes.
Meanwhile, we are making more money than we've ever made in our entire lives.
Exactly. We need to bring the cost of games up. We need to charge you more as we make record profits.
It feels like we've heard the exact same story like 7-8 years in a row.
Yes.
And it's like at some point you feel like you're being scammed, man. You're like,
yes, that's exactly what's happening.
We're just making more and more money. We've raised the price of the console twice already. Now we have to raise it again because of the tariffs. We're not going to lower it if the tariffs come down, and we can't keep up with it. It costs a lot of money.
Oh, Big Sony shut us down. You saw that?
Damn,
that was different. Big Sony. Big Sony like. Big Sony was like, shut that shit down.
But yeah, it's just, and it's not just them. It's
all of them.
Don't take this as a pro Sony. This is everybody.
Yeah,
everybody is saying this right now.
I've said this before. This is the first console generation where prices have actually gone like fucking up as the console got longer.
Multiple times it's gone up.
Multiple times. Like, oh, we gotta raise the price of this console. Like, what?
Hardware's 5 years old, and they're like, sorry, we can't.
Can you imagine if you bought a TV? And then you went back. Your TV went back. Went to go buy that same TV
one day, and they're like, "We need $100."
Yeah, we need $100 more.
Yeah,
like what?
I also think it's crazy that I mean, everybody just, I don't know, everybody just buys into this.
Yeah, they're just okay with it.
Yeah.
I guess the price.
The answer, the thing that's frustrating is that the rebuttal is never make cheaper games.
That's what I've been saying for years. Just make the game.
Nobody says it though. Like nobody
You're correct.
ever offers.
No one ever comes to that
they're
logic.
Like, hey, I mean, Last of Us costs a lot of money to make. It's like, so don't make that one then. Yeah. Oh, we can't do that. We have to do that. No, but you don't. That's not our problem to solve, man. You're the corporation. Make more Astros.
Yeah.
It's never the answer. That's never the answer. It's not
and
the
they
answer
never
for
tell
Ubisoft.
the other side of it.
It's not the end. It's never the answer for these AAA publishers. They never
say the other side of it. Like, hey, this game costs a lot of money to make, but it also makes a shit ton of money too.
No. They all just cry poor.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm pretty sure we're the poor ones in this equation.
Yes.
like that's us, not you. But they all do it. Ubisoft does it. PlayStation, Xbox, they all do it. It's all been doing it. So, yeah, good times. Gaming is super fun. We've talked about tariffs and fiscal years and fucking
Never
CFOs. It's fucking
in
so
all
much
my
fun,
years
guys.
of game, we be talking about this type of shit. CEOs and tariffs and
Take me back, dude. Just give me a damn Game Informer from like 2002 and leave me alone. Like this is nonsense.
Right.
PlayStation non-essentials for the month were announced. You can play Sandland, which is a pretty cool game. Me and Delvin both played it when the demo came out.
Yeah,
I didn't like it a whole lot. I didn't like it. Like I was pretty neutral on it. I was just like, it's okay. Soul Hackers, Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted, Battlefield 5, Stalker Trilogy, Humankind, Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, Gloomhaven. And then for those of you that pay the most money for PlayStation Plus service, the highest tier to get the best of the best, you are getting PlayStation 2's Battle Engine Aquila.
what a game. Take that for what you want to take it for.
Wow.
Please be excited. Epic is preparing for Fortnite's iOS launch by boosting its Epic rewards to 20%, starting immediately. This is last week, so it's already in effect. Any purchases made through Epic's payment system, include those released by third parties and sold in the Epic Game Store, will give the player 20% Epic rewards instead of 5%. The deal is permanent for Fortnite, Rocket League, and Fall Guys. Quote, these 20% rewards in Epic Games are here to stay, but will expire on August 31st for all other purchases on the Epic Game Store. So you can get 20% back on all revenue you
Right, they're
spend
here
on
to
Epic
stay.
stuff.
That's pretty good.
Well, that's for the third-party stuff. Fortnite, Rocket League, and Fall Guys, those are permanent.
Yeah.
So if you're buying stuff in Fortnite, if you're buying
that's
load
great.
screens,
That's a good deal.
you should be buying it through through the Epic Store.
Yes.
Because at that point, you're just hurting yourself if you're not getting that 20%. That's crazy good.
Yeah.
You got to get that
That's
Darth
insane.
Vader samurai armor for sure.
Delvin and Josh.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm sorry to report this to both of you. The Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra has been delayed to early 2026.
Yeah. Shocker.
What is the
Shocking.
year that Amy Hennig released the game? When's the last year? This has been...
It's been a while.
Ooh, yikes.
It's been like 15 years, man.
Uncharted
Like
3,
her-
right?
It's got to be, I was just saying, it's
Yeah.
Uncharted. Well, would you credit her for Uncharted 4 at all? Because didn't they just like
Did
rewrite
she
the
work
whole
on
thing?
4?
They like
Well, she
rewrote her
did, and then
story.
I think they rebooted
Maybe.
it.
Yeah, they rebooted it.
But I think
Okay.
I think she probably
So
had
I think
some
Uncharted 3
involvement.
still.
It's her and Jade Raymond that just seem like they just never get their games out.
Poor Jade Raymond. Jade Raymond, at least Amy Hennig has like victories under her belt. Jade kind of gets stuck with the raw
Apparently,
deal. I think.
she did contribute to Forspoken,
Oh yeah, she did.
so you can give her that.
Yeah, unfortunately, right?
Yeah, it's
Another one of those
Uncharted-
games that they
it's
could give to
Uncharted
Xbox,
3.
but they won't.
It legit is Uncharted 3. It
Yeah,
goes all the way
Uncharted
back
3,
to then if you don't give her credit for that
Yeah.
contribution.
Wow.
I mean,
think it's
she
kind of a
deserves
bummer.
credit, but yeah.
I do too.
for
I
a
think she's great.
A full on.
She's working on a.
It's
she's
bad
working on
luck.
what
I
Star Wars
think.
game she's working on? Was that
I think it got canceled.
She was working on the bounty.
Yeah,
hunter
that's
game.
one of her many canceled projects.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's been on a run where she's went like to 4
I
or
think
5 different places. and they've all
she's
got canceled.
giving. I suspect she's giving what we want, and not what this, not what the studio, not what the companies want, which
Yeah.
is narrative-driven, non-pay
Yeah,
as you
but
play game style stuff.
She's
And
like at
shut
this
it
point,
down.
she's literally like the meme of the Grim Reaper of every time. you see the
much.
movie, like
Yeah.
every time they go to a studio, they're just dead. Like, but she's
that's
great.
the Sean Bean of game writers.
It's a bad rap to have.
It is, but it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to think about, considering how critically acclaimed she was for those Uncharted series. Like
Yeah.
people loved her.
Well deserved, yeah.
Yeah.
She has like a
needs
lifetime
more-
achievement award.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's deserved. But hopefully they get Marvel out. I know a lot of people.
I hope
like
so.
I wasn't like hyped for it, but like was hyped for it to be in this year. Like it felt like this year needed it.
Yes.
You know, especially as more and more things slip, more big things slip
Yeah.
out of the year. Felt like Marvel had a real nice space to be in. But yeah, hopefully.
I was.
So
super
now,
hyped for
what's going to
this.
happen next year now? So we're going to have 1943. We're going to have the next Spider-Man. We're going to have
Yep.
the Wolverine game.
Wolverine.
We're going to have... there's another Marvel game that's slipping my mind too. I was just thinking of like we're just going to be bombarded with Marvel games again.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a lot.
It's too much. You gotta space them
GTA,
out.
GTA, Fable, Marvel.
GTA, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
As always with video
GTA.
games, the next year is the best year.
Yes.
It's always the year we've been like, it's always next year. It's like, man, if we just get to next year. But it's foolish because half of those games will be delayed into next year and so on and so forth.
Oh, and the Blade game.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I don't think that's
That's
the
what I was
Xbox-
thinking.
The
I don't think
Xbox
that's-
You don't think it's next
exclusive
year?
Blade game.
No.
All right, don't start saying stuff like that.
It's going to be great on PlayStation.
We got one, folks. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
you know that ain't gonna happen.
Do you guys ever play The Sinking City?
I did. It's pretty
Yeah.
fun.
I remember you telling me that. Today, they released a remastered version. So the Sinking City Remastered self-dropped today, and is free for anybody that owned the original version.
That's great.
I picked this game up for like $2 on Switch. I've never played it.
Yeah.
And I'm just holding out, like maybe I'd imagine it would get the free update on Switch too. They put the update on everything else. I imagine it'll come to Switch as well. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll play it then.
Yeah.
But yeah, look forward to
I
it.
liked
It's completely redone in UE5, 4K,
nice.
improved reflections, textures, support for DLSS and FSR on PC, new photo mode, kind of the
Oh,
standard
cool.
stuff. we
HP
come to expect.
Lovecraft type game.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
cool game.
Lovecraft meets Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll re-download it on PlayStation and download
Yeah.
that thing because
And I love Sherlock Holmes. So
All right, this one I normally don't get into these things because it's not really news, but I do love like Ori and like some of the stuff that came out from Moon Studios. It's just kind of interesting. Also, when I wrote this down, like the week felt like a really like short news week, and then we got all this financial stuff dropped on top of it.
yes.
But if you didn't hear, Moon Studios is the studios that made Ori 1 and 2, and their new game they released, No Rest for the Wicked.
That's
They're-
supposed to be pretty
they're-
Oh
good.
yeah.
Their owner, their CEO, head developer, whatever, president, I don't know what his role is. He's just the guy in charge. He dropped into their Discord with like this weird like review bombing push. He basically, and it's been screenshotted, and I didn't write down the quote. I'm just paraphrasing. He basically came in and said, "Hey guys, if you like the game and you want to see us like survive, I need you to give us a positive review on Steam because we're being review bombed right now.
Mm.
And if we don't have good enough reviews, we'll have to shut down development." Which is like, extortion, like basically like,
Yeah.
he did tell the studio that it could lead to the closure. He told the people that it could lead to the closure of the studio within months. So this gets screen clipped. It gets posted on Reddit. Media picks up. It goes off. Right? Because of course you're talking about the closure of Moon Studios. That's newsworthy. That would matter to some people.
Yeah.
So once it goes out and gets publicized and tossed around, he then comes back into the Discord claiming that he was taken out of context, which is hilarious because he literally it's screenshotted.
Right.
It's not taken out of context. It's like, this is exactly what you said.
This is the context.
This is the statement that you made. And he then went into a really weird place. And I quote, "These days, apparently anyone who doesn't include 5 trans characters in their game and doesn't let their products influenced by by politics is a Nazi." He also referenced the hate he receives for not making a public stand in the Ukraine versus Russia conflict.
Yikes.
Yikes.
If it talks like a Nazi and walks like a Nazi.
Did he say, hey, did you guys check out that new Kanye West song? Oh, it's pretty good.
Oh, boy. Why does that always happen?
Here's the cherry on top. The game has mostly positive reviews on Steam. It has 34,000 reviews. He's not being review bombed.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
You know what, Donnie? I don't know if you remember this. We talked about this, how positive this game is being received. I was like, I want to play it.
Oh, no, hang on.
Yeah.
It's not. It's actually, when it first came out, it wasn't. I don't think it was initially received well. They came out with a hot fix, like a patch.
It was
And
like
since
glitchy,
that patch,
right?
people have really liked it. But
Well,
I was curious, and I went and clicked through some of it. The negative reviews weren't like, we hate your owner, we hate this Nazi, we don't buy this game. The reviews, the bad reviews were like, the controls are bad, movement's fucked, my game crashed.
Yeah.
Like, these are legit good feedback. And he went to his Discord. It was like, if you don't give us positive reviews, we have to shut the studio down because. And I'm upset that I actually quote it, but it's he's personalizing this. It's him. They're being review bombed because of him. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but Moon Studios was the subject of an editorial back in 2022 it was by VentureBeat. I believe, by GamesBeat, by Minotti and stuff. Not the crunch, by having an oppressive workplace. And there were
sounds like he might be one of those people.
There were Discord screenshots at the time of him making reference to working developers like Jews and other kinds of shit like that. Like,
Thanks.
I hate to say it because the Ori games, as you guys know, I absolutely adore. They're some of my favorite games, but this guy sucks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yikes.
really does.
Hey, I love Harry Potter, but you don't have to love who made it.
And I think it's been pointed out a few times. There were a lot of people that found it strange at a time when Xbox was buying every studio they possibly could, at a time when the best game they released in years was an exclusive named Ori, that they weren't, not only were they not interested in acquiring Moon, like, they kind of stopped working with them after Ori 2 altogether.
Yeah. You mentioned that.
Yeah. And I always thought it was weird at the time. I was like, why wouldn't they? Because at the time, we were all guessing on, this is even before the Bethesda days, we were all guessing on who would be next. And at the top of
Moon.
any Xbox fan, you would think Moon Studios. It was a shoo-in. And it never
It's too bad they don't just get rid of that person. Like,
I think he
it's
owns
just like
it.
that
He owns
person
the studio.
punishing. Well, they bought Blizzard Activision. You can
That's true. You could buy
go
him out
buy
and just fire
Moon
him.
from that
Yeah.
guy.
Do you want to sell us Moon? And now you're fired.
Right? Like, now just sell it because you can't make a game anymore. So just sell us Moon now and go quietly retire to the Alps where the rest of your family's from. I don't know. Like, it's just, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
that
too bad.
Again, he takes any negative feedback and just makes it all about him because of his own, personal hatred for people.
Yeah.
And I definitely get the vibe. I get the vibe that he thinks from the past comments and the screenshots that I've seen, which I went and reread before I wrote this stuff down. I get the vibe that he thinks of like the studio as like a 90s locker room. He's just like, why can't we just like freedom of speech and say things? Like, that's kind of the vibe I pick up just from the little bits of language that I've seen from him. It's like, come on, dude, you got to grow up at some point.
Yeah. That sucks.
So,
sucks for all those people working for him.
yeah, the people that like their stuff.
There has been a trend of a lot of these guys doing that similar thing where they do some questionable or problematic things and they make it about, we're trying to get canceled, or it's them that we're getting review bombed. Like, no.
Yeah.
You're just a shitty person.
But it's just like, yeah, you deserve it though.
Yeah.
Look at the shit you said. Like,
So
you are hurting your developers and your works and things because of the shit that you've said.
yeah.
At some point, it's like you're hurting the company.
Sometimes accountability is okay, people.
Yeah.
It's okay to hold people accountable for being shitty people.
And the crazy thing is that all of this came out of nowhere because they weren't being review bombed. Like, he created this whole mess on his own. Open mouth, insert
Self-destructive.
foot. Yeah, like he did
Yeah.
this to himself. The call was coming from inside the house, guys.
Yeah.
From inside your head.
Like, Jesus. Anyway.
Horror
Ubisoft,
reference. We did it.
we did this one. Ubisoft has internally delayed unannounced major titles for more development time, i.e. Far Cry. Far Cry has been delayed. Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake is on track to release within the next fiscal year.
I don't believe that at all.
Between now and next March, Ubisoft says they're
Yeah.
releasing that game. And in the craziest headline that I read all day, Riders Republic is getting a movie adaptation with the directors from Bad Boys.
All right, fam. Let's stop. Stop this, please. Not every fucking game
I
deserves a
told
movie.
you, Delvin. What did I tell you? I told you when this started.
Yes, you did.
This is exactly what I was afraid of happening.
I was having a conversation with my son a couple days ago because we went to go see the Until Dawn movie. And I was like, they literally just made a horror movie. And it was like, hey, let's just stick the Until Dawn name on it.
Yep.
It's like they had a horror movie like in the back of the studio. Like, hey, we have a horror movie here. Let's just name it Until Dawn and sell it. I'm like, they gotta stop.
They're devoid of creativity. That's why they keep remaking everything. And these video games have a built-in install base.
Yes.
The scary thing to worry about is what happens when the games don't become the inspiration, but the result. What happens when we start getting games based on the movie that was made based on the game?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
That's my dude. Josh,
It's like Inception.
I could roll the tape back to like 4 years ago, and I was like,
Yeah.
listen, we don't need to go down this path.
We've already been down that path. Yeah.
I can't wait till we get Street Fighter.
Riders Republic?
Street Fighter.
Nobody even bought that game.
No,
Game's on-
listen. In defense of Riders Republic, it is a good game, but it's not a great game. It certainly
What's the
doesn't
plot of
really-
Riders Republic?
It's got a
Well,
movie.
there's no plot.
Josh,
Yeah,
it's getting a movie.
Like, what?
There's
What
no,
the
like I was
plot
gonna
of
say,
Riders Republic?
it doesn't
was-
deserve a movie, but it's a good game.
It's getting a movie. Far Cry doesn't have a
movie.
movie, but Riders
doesn't deserve-
Republic does.
That's crazy. Well, I think that's probably more of a Ubisoft problem than a movie industry problem.
I mean, Ubisoft can't make the movie themselves. Somebody's got to come up and be like, "We want to make a movie," and they were like, "Hey, we got Far Cry."
we coulda had
And
a
they're
Far
like, What
Cry
about
movie.
Riders Republic though?
Yeah.
Goodness.
I don't understand. Is it because of Gran Turismo, you think, maybe? Like, they're like, hey, that was pretty successful. Let's do another action sports movie.
I hope not.
You know, it would have been cool in SSX.
Like you saying that makes it sound like something somebody could say, but what I'm hearing,
Sure.
like if I was sitting across the table, I'd be like, "Don't ever talk again."
In my head,
Out of all the properties Ubisoft owns,
Right.
you pick Riders Republic.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause,
Like,
like,
you
if
know what
that
would
was
be
the
good? A
case,
For
you do
Honor
the
game
crew.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
the crew. Yeah, yeah.
in my head, I think somebody was making a Point Break sequel.
That's
And they were
that's
exactly
kind of
what
what
I
I hear.
Well,
What's
we
the
couldn't make
closest to Point Break?
couldn't get the rights for that, so just make it Riders
Yeah.
Republic.
Riders Republic, and it's just like Until Dawn won't be anything like the game.
Yeah,
It's just like motocross and surfing.
Don't worry. I think like most Ubisoft projects, it probably is not going to come out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It'll get delayed.
It's very timely, Josh, that you're here today,
Oh, good.
because the next news story that we have is a Mortal Kombat 1, the definitive edition. I believe, maybe I was out of the loop. Stealth drop today? We didn't know that was happening, right?
Yes.
It did stealth drop today, yes.
Yeah, stealth drop today includes all of the DLC that the game has, all
Which
in
is a
one
lot.
$70 package,
Yes.
and the expansion and all the stuff. And in my brief browsing, when I posted the trailer through the Mortal Kombat Reddit, through the games Reddit, people are not happy.
Me included.
Okay, I'll make sure I didn't read the room wrong. So tell me about
You
it.
read the room perfectly.
Great.
You want me to elaborate?
Go ahead and elaborate, because I already know what you're
Into
going to say.
All right. So first of all, this essentially kills all of our hopes for a second expansion and
Yeah.
a second DLC character
Correct.
pack.
Which I think we were
this is
getting.
after
It kind
Ed
of got
Boon
traction
said-
like a month ago.
Yeah, Ed Boon said we're gonna like develop and build on this game for years to come. And they're
Yes, yes.
Yeah, now it's
and
done.
This is I think this is a WB problem, but you know that is irrelevant because we have the announcement. Like a month or two ago, it kind of got the news cycle kind of picked up, the rumor mill picked back up that, hey, they said they're not done with it yet. This is what they're talking about, but everyone was like, oh, that means we are going to get that second, like that next character pack, that second expansion. And that's a bummer. I think the bigger, well, not the bigger bummer, equal bummer is for people who already own Mortal Kombat 1 and you want to get the definitive edition, they're still asking $60 from you.
Correct.
And you already paid $60 to $80 for the game the first time. That's crazy. And you could have bought the expansion and character pack 2 like a month ago for $40 on sale on like Xbox.
Which I did.
So this is kind of like highway robbery for people who supported this game from the beginning. That's where I get bummed about it. Although like I have all of it, but if someone didn't jump on right away, like this is kind of more of a punishment than a reward, I think.
I bought the
Especially because
game.
you didn't get, I don't think, I think they're throwing in some skins from the Mortal Kombat 2 movie coming out this year that haven't been available before.
Yeah.
So I can't get them unless I pay $60 now.
$60.
Oh, yeah.
Which I won't do.
Yeah.
I bought the game for $10 last week on the
Yeah.
hopes that it gets a Switch 2 update, which
I hope it does.
Is that a good hope? Like
I
at
don't
this
think
point,
you-
I think they're gonna.
Yeah,
sell
because
the definitive
you should
edition.
not play it on
I think that's what I was
Switch
gonna say.
1,
I
so
think-
hope
Yeah,
you
I
get
think
it.
I screwed up. If they're gonna just make you buy the definitive edition,
Yeah,
Correct.
so I gotta wait for that upgrade to come down in price. Maybe
Maybe they'll
offer it.
only charge you $10 on the Switch too. That would be better. But yeah, it's
I don't think
a
so.
bummer for a game that should have had more excitement around it, and it's arguably a great game and a great
it's a great game.
follow up. So
A lot of characters, too.
yeah, it's a bummer.
Damn.
A lot of characters, yeah, and like
Hate
some
that for you.
great DLC characters.
Like I don't care too
Yes.
much because at the end of the day, all things are awful. I'm out $10.
You can have Ghostface fight Conan the Barbarian. Like, come on.
And if I wait long enough, the
John Claude
definitive
Van Damme's in
edition
the game.
will be. If I wait long enough, the
Oh, yeah,
definitive
yeah.
edition will be $10.
yeah, it will eventually.
So like, I may just have to wait that out too.
Yeah.
In more fighting game news, Virtua Fighter 5 Revo has been confirmed for consoles. That includes a Switch 2. So the
Good.
remake of the remake of the remake is coming to console. You excited?
I would argue Virtua Fighter 5 is the weakest of the Virtua Fighters.
I don't know enough about it. To,
I would
to
argue
weigh
that
in on
it's-
that matter.
2025. Why am I playing Virtual Fighter?
No, they have a new one
Well,
coming.
we got a new one coming.
I don't
next
give a damn. They have a new
year.
one or old
People
one.
are
It's
hyped
like,
for it though.
no,
Yeah,
I'm
Virtua
good.
Fighter Project, as it is called
It's
now,
over.
Yeah.
it's going to be
It's
great.
over. It's joke.
Listen, if Tekken 8 can still thrive, Virtua Fighter can exist.
Damn, Delvin.
We're
Yeah,
okay.
It's Virtua Fighter.
Nah, son.
You
Days over.
listen. You got to embrace fighting games. We need more fighting games
We do.
that aren't
Virtua Fighter time
Blaz
is coming.
Blue and Grand Blue and whatever the heck
Nickelodeon
DNF and
Brawl.
like all
There we
that.
go. Now we're talking about the legends.
Stay away.
The
Keep that
legends.
stuff
Yeah, I was gonna
away.
say you were all about Nickelodeon Brawl, but over here hating Virtua Fighter.
First Fighter's
Yeah,
old.
where's your roots? You have roots in video games. You got
I don't know if you know
your
this.
cabinet set up behind
Josh.
you. You know you were playing Virtua Fighter on
My roots
32
were on a
next.
slave ship.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
wow.
God,
Christ.
God.
All right,
Stop.
all
Great,
right.
great.
Now we're back to the Ori conversation again.
Here we go.
You're setting me up.
Um,
You're setting me up. Now I'm gonna get review bombed.
All right, Delvin, I got you back here. I'm
Okay.
really back in. Tekken boss Katsuhiro Harada wants to make an official Waffle House stage, but says the company is ignoring his calls.
That's because they're too busy fighting.
Hey, answer the damn phone, Waffle House. We need a Tekken Waffle House level.
You're just gonna
They
have
gotta
people
make it
fighting
happen.
in the background.
Could
Now, not
you
actual
imagine?
fighters.
That
Could
is
you
amazing.
imagine Tekken in a Waffle
It-
House?
It has to happen.
That's incredible.
They got to make this happen.
Can I
Right, but
please
what
get
I,
a
but
waffle?
what I said was racist.
They got to make this happen.
Microsoft has announced it's laying off 3% of its total staff.
Microsoft isn't a big company. That's probably only like 100 people, right?
I appreciate how we went from this great story about Waffle House to Microsoft just firing people.
Well, those people are
Just
going to be working
people,
at the
like
Waffle House.
10,000 people.
Like
Like a lot
10,000
of people.
It's insane.
Crazy.
It's a lot.
Ugh.
Stellar Blade comes to PC this June. It has 25 new costumes, a new boss battle, higher resolution, DLSS, FSR, Japanese and Chinese voiceover, frame gen, unlock frame rate, ultrawide support, DualSense support, and pre-order outfits.
Yeah, I can give you that Instagram for the model if you want to check it out, because I am following that account.
That my way.
You won't get it on Xbox though. Just
We don't
PC.
need
it. A while ago, several episodes ago, I talked about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, and people are very upset because it looked like 4 was going away from their open-ended structure to the mission structure, the traditional mission structure. It's been somewhat appended is there's a setting to allow you to extend the 2-minute timer per level to an hour.
Oh,
so you can play the whole thing for an hour at a time before you have to come back in.
Nice.
Which I think kind of makes the whole thing moot.
Hey, Donnie, did we talk about them bringing back Bam Margera?
I don't think so. I think we talked. I did cover that when Tony Hawk said that they were going to bring him back in. Yeah, that is a done deal.
Yes, it's a done deal
last
now.
Week. Yeah, they've been skating together. They've been making tweets and TikToks and videos and stuff. So hope Bam's in a decent place. I don't hope it's going to get much better. I think Bam is Bam at this point.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Bam's
That
going
ain't
to Bam.
changing.
Valve announced a new SteamOS compatibility system for devices that run SteamOS but that aren't Steam Decks. So remember that Lenovo is coming out at the end of the month, and I believe we'll start seeing more SteamOS just coming out for different devices. So if you're worrying about the compatibility, you'll be able to check if it's compatible with SteamOS. Not necessarily your device mileage may vary, depending, like especially if you're like trying to run it like on, let's say like a really slow computer or something, that may not work. But at least let you know if it's compatible with SteamOS in general, which is nice.
I like SteamOS, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of all the things that people want, and I say people, I mean D-Life, about Xbox needs to make the handheld, but it's an Xbox, but it's a PC. I'm like, I just need Steam to make a console, like Steam Deck, but put it in a box so I can plug it in my television, and I'm good.
Because big screen mode is fine, but it's not great. And like you're right, like a small portable PC would be great for Steam OS on the TV.
I'm not even asking for the world. Now, if they wanted to give me an awesome computer, I'm interested, but I don't even need all that. Like you want to
think of it as a console cycle, right? Every 5 years you get a new one, so you don't have to worry about buying graphics cards, fans, memory.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And you can just
they have realized the promise of the Steam machine with the Steam Deck. Now let's put it back into a console.
I was thinking about that exact same thing today. Just make a Steam console and charge cheaper for it.
Literally make a Series S and put Steam OS on it, and I'm
correct.
I'm so there. Just do that, and I'm good. Yeah. I'm so good. Before we get into rumors, I did want to say, just like I did on Shaq this past week, I want to give a mea culpa about the game key cards, at least a slight one. I've went pretty hard on the game key cards since launch for weeks. In several episodes, I've talked about how all these cartridges are going to be pieces of plastic trinkets someday in the future when they turn off the eShop and everything. And through a leak with Arc System Works, it was pointed out or clarified in the Switch 2 developer kits that the game key card is tied to their content delivery servers, not the eShop at all. So essentially it works like a game does once it's already into your library. So just like the 3DS and the Wii U, and when they turn those eShops off, you can still, if you have a console, you can still download your old games. If you've purchased them already, just like we can on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 and Vita too. Like you can, the PlayStation 3 store is offline, right? You still can download your own stuff. The game key cards are supposed to work the same way. So while that doesn't answer how long they'll work, I think it's important to point out, to my knowledge, I tried to find this out before Shaq. I haven't looked into it since then, but to my knowledge, I don't think any company has turned off content delivery for a console. I don't think there's any console that's like, if you don't have it downloaded by this day, you can never ever, like, to my knowledge, the PlayStation 3, the 360, the Wii U, the 3DS, the Vita, you can still log into all of those things, and if you bought games, you can still download them. I think they face class action lawsuit if they turned it off. I don't think you can do it on the Wii because the Wii shop wasn't tied to an account; it was tied to the machine. But everything else, I think, is there. So the game key cards, well, still have, like, they're not great. It's still not great. But it does look like they will outsurvive at least the Switch's life cycle for some time. Like, I think if you want to buy one, you should feel confident that in 10 years you can plug it in and still use it. So I probably just got too exaggerated. I kind of felt like an idiot once I read it because in hindsight, of course that's how it would work. Like, we have all the examples of the world before it. Like, I could have just picked up my 3DS and noticed that, but I didn't. And I'm not alone. Nobody else did. That's definitely been the buzz and the word, right? When everybody's talking about the YouTube videos and articles and everything, Nintendo could have clarified it, but they didn't. But I definitely wanted to make sure that I accounted for that on the podcast, made sure everybody was corrected. So that's my bad. And yeah.
I mean, it's confusing. It's hard to know.
Yeah.
It is, and it's been a moving target,
Yeah.
In the rumor section, there was a noted Rockstar leaker who made a comment in a Discord about something that could happen, and people ran with it saying GTA 4 is coming out this year. I think the this year part is a little up in the air. I saw the original post. The original post was more like, I know them to be working on GTA 4 remastered, and apparently Max Payne 3 as well. When and where those projects are at the moment wasn't really addressed. So I'm not going to tell you that they're coming out this year, like some articles have this week. I'm not going to say that because the original source does not really give that inclination. But apparently Rockstar is working on them. So could they? Yeah, they could. Cool. And I think a GTA 4 before GTA 6 would be nice. That'd be a nice way to bridge that gap a little. Would be kind of cool. I'm down to go back to GTA 4.
Yeah.
Especially if they put it on Switch 2. And hopefully not PC, where all of their games are awful. Like, they don't work anymore.
Yeah.
So, that's it, Delvin. That's it for
all
the
right.
news.
We got a scoring update from the Rude. None of us got Doom the Dark Ages right, as it comes in at an 85. He personally blames me for this, and I personally say, fuck off, Root Days. All right. This week's over and under. Over and under for Delvin's favorite Elden Ring, Night Rain. This is a separate game from Elden Ring with roguelike elements, fuck that, and a three-person online play. Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree scored a 92. The Rude thinks it's under.
The line's 90.5.
Holy crap, really?
Yeah, over under 90.5 for Night Rain.
Wow.
Wait a minute. We need to address the Rude here.
Yes.
I would like to approach the bench.
You may approach.
Because we got the Rude Day segment, a weekly annual ritual powered by the Rude Days, which we love.
Correct.
We've made this a part of the show. He is the eternal fourth chair.
Who's just writing rude in chat.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we got his questions today. And Devin, who is not here, Josh is not Dev.
No, I'm not.
No.
And I would never pretend to be, ever. Never,
Posted
ever.
his answers, same color, same height.
Same height, same color.
He posted his answers in the Discord.
Oh.
And the Rude attempted to accept them by saying that mail-in votes are counted. Now,
No.
while I clearly do not hold any authority to change the Rude's mind, I would like to point out to the court that not having attendance on the show has historically been precedent. Precedent so much that one would consider it common law, more or less codified into the rules. There have been multiple seasons, dare I say years, of examples of this. And to turn this law on us now would be unconstitutional. So I lay at the mercy of the court to perhaps, potentially, realize the error of their ways and ripping up. We're nothing if we don't abide by the laws of our own land.
It would be like ignoring your Supreme Court.
100% it would.
Who would do that?
Oh,
Stop the steal.
Speaking of
Stop the
unprecedented-
steal. This is crazy. You can't phone in answers. At that
Yes.
point, why even do the podcast? We'll just do Rude Days Discord responses. You
I'm
got to
just
be
gonna
here.
phone in my
Yeah.
my response to everything.
Availability is the best ability.
Yes,
And Devin is not available this week, and thus
correct.
his answers do not count. They need to be thrown out. Dismissed.
Dismiss. No mas.
So I'll wait to hear back next week.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord Sturts. Donnie versus Dev 2025. Sorry, Dev. I hate to do it, but again, keeping up with tradition, I got to gang up with Delvin on you now. It's usually Delvin, but
Yeah.
you're not here, so this is what we do.
Feels good to be on this side of it.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yes. Quite
Collusion
often.
is fun.
Yes, very much so.
So I rest my case.
All right.
And I, too, am taking the under.
I also am taking the under. Because fuck y'all the rings.
So smart bet. Take the under on that. Jeez.
All right. Over or under 81.5 for Lost Souls Aside. Made by Chinese developer Alt Zero Games, is described as a devil may like cry game. The rule is thinking over.
Over, what's the score you guys got to go based on?
81.5.
81.5.
Oh, jeez. This is the heavily delayed game? Lost Soul Aside?
Yes.
I can just be kind of sit here as an impartial, like, hey, guess what? There's no way this is going to be over that.
I kind of think it's going to be under. I really do.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take the over.
Okay. I'll take the under.
I don't know anything about the game. I saw a little bit of it after I saw the question. It definitely has that same Stellar Blade. I don't know. It feels like there's a generative model that's spitting these out. There's like 12 games of these that all look the
Yes.
same. But the reason I'm taking the over is I saw a lot of YouTube comments that are
like it.
very hopeful for the game. Apparently, they've been following it for like a decade. It was like a one-man team. There's like a whole story behind it. So I'm kind of rooting that goodwill gets it over the 82 mark.
Okay. I think it's going to be like a 78.
Delvin, I think you got to lick the cartridge again because John missed you do it.
John missed it.
Well, that sucks for you, John.
How
John,
much
you did-
money?
you did
How
it
much
twice,
money
John.
to get you to put 10 cartridges in your mouth?
I might choke on 10. I might die.
Just put
At
them-
one time?
Yeah, you just hold them in there for like 5 seconds.
You could be a cautionary lesson to children. Don't put 10 in your mouth at once.
Yeah, it might be.
The Rude says he will come to his council of the Rudes for a decision. I feel like we need an arbitrator.
Yeah.
Like we need a Supreme Court to appeal to.
Yes, we do. Trying to think. 10 cartridges.
Oh,
Don't-
you're
I may
still
choke.
about it. Don't
I
think
may
about it.
choke. There's a chance I might actually die.
All right, on to the questions.
Not worth it.
All right. Questions. Free to play Joe asks, so do you guys think this is the end of console gaming as we've always known it? Yes, free to play Joe. It's over. It's Jova. As we know it, yeah. I don't think it's in the console gaming, but
You got a new generation now. New generation of what console gaming looks like.
a new hierarchy.
Yeah,
PlayStation 5 or bust.
this is one of those I'm somewhat torn on. I think I can make a case for both, but even in both scenarios, do I think it's the end of it? I don't. No, I don't. But I would probably twist that a little bit in maybe ways that you're not thinking about. I think consoles are in a hard place at the moment because since the PlayStation 4, they adopted PC-like design. So now they have to
Correct.
keep up with PC parts, prices, competitors. And when you're releasing a console every 5 years, it's hard. Like you get outdated almost instantly. You know, these PC, like the Switch will face the exact same thing right? The Switch is coming out. It's going to be somewhat dated tech the day it releases. And we're going to have like an Ally X and an Xbox X and an Xbox X and a PlayStation, whatever. Like all that's going to come out on top of it. And there's probably going to be 100 more models before we get the Switch 3 or whatever comes after that. So like it almost works against the console to be more and more adapting to PC parts because you can't keep up. You don't have DLSS, you don't have frame gen, you don't have all this stuff, right? That said, that version of a console might be dying. Right? That version of a console that competes directly against PCs like the PlayStation and Xbox seemingly are doing, that might be dying. And I do see a lot of hope in things like ARM and what Nintendo's doing with NVIDIA and what could be done in a mobile-like space, something like an Apple TV. Or I could see a day where we go to, people talk about how expensive tech is and how consoles are pricing themselves out of the market. All that tells me is that we'll get cheaper consoles. I think those cheaper consoles exist today. They're PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones and Xbox One X's, and like those are cheaper consoles. Like just because we've all moved on doesn't mean millions have. Like there are cheaper alternatives out there to play games on, and I could see maybe not one of these companies, but somebody else coming in at that lower end market. I'm going to say a word that's going to make everybody laugh, but like an Ouya like thing. Like, as the price of these things keeps going up, all you're doing is creating opportunity for a Wii-like, Ouya-like, sub-$200 device to come in there, an Apple TV, a Roku, a Steam box.
That's what I was thinking. I was just going to say, I was thinking Steam.
There's an opportunity there for somebody to come in and make some money. And I think whenever there's a demand, there will be. And I don't care how, pricing and everything goes console-wise, I think there will always be a demand for a simpler option to plug into your TV than a PC. And thus, I always think there'll be some reason for a console to exist.
Yeah.
I agree.
My $100 on live that I plugged into my phone line.
And as crazy as it may sound today, that console might be Netflix. That console might be Game Pass. That console could be a lot of things in the future.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. Family Jeff asks, with GTA delayed, how will you fill the gap in 2025?
I wasn't playing GTA anyway. So no gap needed filling.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the easy answer for me. There's this little thing coming out like in another month or so called Switch 2.
Yep.
And that Switch 2 will bring me plenty of things to fill plenty of gaps with.
Yeah,
I think if you think of like GTA, like competitors, though, there's nothing really on the market like that. Oh, Mafia, old country.
We got Mafia and we got Mind's Eye.
Yeah, Mind's Eye, which looks fun.
Yeah, Mind's Eye is like a hit or miss, I think, at this point.
Looks like a solid 78.
Yeah,
it could be good, but
completely sold yet either on
iffy.
it. But we'll see.
Solid 78.
You're right. But good point. Mafia is a good call.
$50 too. Do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Mafia is only $50.
Hey, Clair Obscure is also only $50 if you don't have Game Pass.
That's awesome.
These games can be made at a good price.
I gotta get them to give me a Mafia port to Switch.
Yeah, Definitive Edition, not on Switch.
There's none of the Mafia games made it over.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would expect those ports to show up at some point.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, for the rest of the year, I'm thinking if they don't get delayed. I'm jazzed for Mafia. I'm jazzed for Dying Light. Doom. All the Switch 2 stuff, of course, which I honestly feel like that goes without saying. I'm trying to think of things that isn't that. Let me see here. I have a little wish list that I keep up. Gears. Yep. Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
I still got to get to Shadows.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot
coming out.
I got a lot to do.
All right. Matt asks, what was the first video game that truly captured you and why? It's a great question.
The first one. Oh, the old people have to go?
Trying to think.
When I was a kid, we didn't have a Nintendo yet. We had an Atari. but I would go to my buddy's house, and they had a Sega Master System, and that was
Coming
like
from Atari, that would blow your mind.
crazy,
Yeah.
right? And then they had games like Columns, which is like pre Tetris. Um, but they had this game that Mickey Mouse game, like Castle Evolution, on the Sega Master System, and it was
Fun
like
game.
the first time I ever saw like what a video game console could truly do at that point, which was like just like fully animated characters, just nuts to me at the time. Pre Mario, right? Like getting these games that were just like on the Atari we had, it's like Pitfall, ET, Tank, like you're just seeing this. Just it was fine at the time, but going and seeing stuff like that, uh, I think an Altered Beast was on the Sega Master System too,
Yes, it
before even
was.
Genesis. So like seeing games like that were like really blew my mind. Um, so I don't know if I can point out a specific one from that generation of like consoles, but that console in general, from going from what I had, going like two houses to the left, to be able to experience something like that was really like now gaming is part of my life. So that was like a big thing for me.
I had to look it up to make sure I was correct. But yeah, the first video game that truly like blew my mind and captured me was that one right there.
Space Ace, yeah, nice.
Dragon Slayer and Space Ace. I remember as a kid, like probably like 5, 6 years old, going and get a arcade and seeing that in there, like that can't be real, that can't be playable. And even though it's a crude way to play it, but I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. This is a cartoon that I get to play.
It's the original Dark Souls. You got to hit those timing things perfectly.
Yeah, and I fell in love with it so much that when this thing came out, I immediately bought an arcade cabinet for it. Like I gotta have that in my house. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Nice.
Because that moment, because just sitting there in the arcade, seeing it, everything was in there, looking like video games. You had like Pac-Man, you had Dig Dug, you had Donkey Kong, all that stuff looked cool and fun. You had pole position. Then you have this thing in there that looked like nothing else I've ever seen there. And it just kind of and it cost more money to play. I think it was like almost $1 to play.
It's $1 to play, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is worth it, even though you only play for like 5 seconds. You paid $1.
You pay $1 and you're done.
And you immediately die because you're like, what the fuck am I doing? But yeah, it was just magical.
My first game was Donkey Kong.
It's great.
That was the first game that actually ever really got me. I was very young. I had to be 3 or 4, maybe 5 at the most, but I think younger than 5. Because I remember it was before I was in school. I was my mom sent me to like a babysitter. I think it was like a neighbor, but they like watched me while my mom was gone. That's how young I was. And the babysitter had Donkey Kong at NES. And, they had a bunch of toys and stuff. And I remember I asked if I could play a video game. They're like, yeah, you can turn it on. I never had a video game. Didn't have money, didn't frequent arcades. That was never a thing. So, I believe I had basically like a working knowledge of what video games were, probably through television or something. Like I understood it, but I never had my own. And what I remember was it became like a very big like point of discussion that kind of would follow me down the road. Like for years, my mom would tell stories about how the babysitter was like, he started playing Donkey Kong and like, I just basically played it all summer. Like I didn't stop. I just kept playing. That's all I wanted to do. She's like, you just sat there for hours playing Donkey Kong. So yeah, it was and I think it was the only game they had. And that's what led me to get NES. And I've told that story in the past, but I got games at the pawn shop, Tecmo Bowl and stuff like that. But the first one that truly got me was Donkey Kong.
Nice.
It's a great one. Drew asked, as we head into the next era of Nintendo, what would you remember most from the Switch?
Yeah, Josh.
Ooh. What do I remember from the Switch? I have a unique experience with the Switch to me, not to anybody else, because a lot of people have gone through this, but the Switch has basically been around since my son was born. So it is a something that, talking about like a Sega Master System, right? Talking about things like that, getting that experience with my family and my son, and Mario Karts or Mario Parties in whatever. I think those have been more important to me than even like a single game that I played on it. Uh, that being said, I've had some incredible moments on my Switch. It's like the go-to thing to take with on vacation. It's just so perfectly portable, and minus Joy-Con drift, I don't have really much to complain about the console in its entire life. And I know Nintendo's really good at that, so like it's not a surprise. But still,
Wii U fans
I
would
think of the
maybe-
Wii U and the Wii. And did I see us getting to the Switch from those two? No, not even close. But I've always had a love for Nintendo to a degree, so it kind of like it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, I think that just like great memories made with my son. Thinking about like we're talking about Nintendo and Donnie's talking about Donkey Kong, right? Like we got our NES when we were kids, and my parents played it more than me. Like they woke me up at midnight to let me see them beat Bowser in the last level.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't
Right?
think I ever
And-
met an adult that liked video games.
That's
when I
awesome.
And
a
it was
kid.
incredible. Like we didn't expect them to like it either. Like in the chat, I can't see saying like anyone remember Clax, and like yeah, my mom was like a Tetris fiend, and then discovered Clax, and then she wouldn't like we just played Clax every day. So having those experiences now with my son, even though he's playing on Xbox and we've played Astrobot together, a Switch is a console he's been able to also have for himself first, which it's made for family.
big
So it's
difference.
really special to be able to pass that gaming on that system in that way. So for that, like for all the 1-2 Switches out there and everybody's Switches or whatever the heck is currently like shovelware on the Switch, like there's so many more huge experiences that came from that, like Wii Sports Resort and all that stuff that really make me happy I have one, and really is making me want to get a Switch too, even though right now there's only 2 games I want to get for it. I know that will change going
Breath
forward.
of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
You know it. I can't wait to pay $80 more for both of those.
I did.
I know.
I absolutely
know.
did. Need red boxes.
And I don't blame you.
Need red cartridges.
Yeah.
I think I'll be the
I do.
only. I'm definitely not the only person, but the only person in. It sounds like in our community, Delvin and I tag team that are like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, I had a Mario Kart. I'm like, I am literally Breath of the Wild, and then moving on.
That's what I'm going with.
To
Yep.
be fair, Kyle and I tag team Breath of the Wild, just different than you guys do.
Yes.
Incorrectly, I would say.
Yeah, sure.
I guess to go off what Josh was saying, I guess I remember that the Switch kind of like in terms of like gaming kind of brought my family together. Like it's the one console where me and the kids will sit down and play together. Like I remember like us playing like Smash Brothers together and having like fun matches with that, and then you go on to like even like Nickelodeon Brawl, as silly as it is. We play that on Switch together and have fun and just cracking jokes and having time. So I guess moments like that, or just me going in my kids' room and watching my daughter play like Animal Crossing for hours, and I just go lay on their bed and watch her play that. And she's making her farm and her village stuff and stuff like that. Just I guess the ideal of what the Switch really did in terms of how it kind of turned the tides, because people's energy for the Nintendo at that time before the Switch came out was not high. And the fact that the Switch like blew up the way it did, where everybody wanted a Switch and everybody had a Switch, and it was just like it was pretty cool to see that turnaround. And Nintendo, shoot, when that Switch first came out, people was talking about Nintendo like they talk about Xbox now. Like maybe Nintendo should go third party, and and now like it's like just a complete 180. And it's really cool to see. It's a really good success story.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. It was interesting. I think when I originally got asked the question, I was thinking more of like a games thing. I was going to be like, oh man, let me tell you about Breath of the Wild, Luigi's Mansion 2, and Fire Emblem Engage, and all these favorite
All
games
great
of mine.
games.
You guys just went more in a completely different direction than I was thinking. So to match you in that direction, I mean, the Switch is Jack's childhood. I got video evidence of him on this very channel of him going from like toddler to like young man, So yeah, there's a big part of that family part, The story is also us. I mean, PSVG is a big part of the story for me, and the Switch and Nintendo Shack and, doing all that, we do have still a few that are still around that remember that, the Shack wasn't a podcast that we did because the Switch took off and got popular. Like we were doing Shack in the Wii U days, like we've been doing that for some time now. So yeah, riding that whole wave was a lot of fun at the time, meeting people like Bobby and Sean and Layer to the Games crossovers and all the things that honestly, all the things that we've done. I look back on it and I'm positive when I started sending out random messages to people on mttgforums.com that we never would have imagined that we'd be referenced in IGN articles, that we'd meet Colin Moriarty or Ryan or Pear or do any of these things that we've done and do Momocons and interviews and famous chefs and cooks and board gamers and creators and devs. And, I don't think we ever imagined like 1% of any of that. It's so far below where any of our heads were when I was like, hey, I think I'm about starting a podcast. That was never even the idea. So to branch out and go from there to here, I'll always equate to the Switch, that it is. We had a lot of consoles come through there and they were great, and we've talked about played all those, but it is almost squarely the Switch. They're tied 1-1.
I like it.
Good question.
Very good question. Our next question, it's a great one too, from Jay. Deserted Island question. Album, movie, TV show. So I'm assuming it's one album, one movie, and one TV show you can take on a deserted island with you if you have no choice.
Yeah.
Who want to go first? I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
Go.
My album is Michael Jackson Thriller. My movie probably would be 86 Transformers the movie, because that's my favorite movie of all time. And I can watch that over and over again with no problems. And my TV show, see, this is a little more difficult because I feel like with TV shows, you got to kind of go long because you don't want nothing that you're going to get bored from. So I want to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go 24. TV show 24.
Oh.
I love it. One of my favorite TV shows. And it's pretty long. It's several seasons, like 10 seasons of content, so I can just keep watching that for a while.
Nice.
So, off the top of my head, I was thinking like Law and Order SVU, because there's like 1,000. I'm quite sure there are episodes of Law and Order SVU I have not seen.
Sure,
yeah, but they're all the same. That's
see, that's why I didn't pick that one, because
yeah.
I get the idea. You're like, let me maximize the choice, but I would want something that's like maybe somewhat like non-linear, something I could watch out of order, like something that you can randomize so it doesn't feel the same all the time. So like some of my favorite shows I would rule out because of that reason. Okay. I wouldn't pick The Office or How I Met Your Mother because the story, the characters, they're intended to be watched, somewhat in order. I'd think more, I don't know what my TV show pick would be, but I was thinking something more like The Simpsons, Seinfeld, South Park.
Seinfeld feels a good answer.
You can just kind of pick one at any point, anywhere, and just watch it, because they're almost somewhat self-contained. Like there is growth, but they're it's not. You don't have to.
The characters are the characters.
Yeah. So I think a lot of animation works well for that.
Yes.
I think Seinfeld works well for that.
I agree. Dragon Ball Z.
A lot of episodes.
Dude, I watch Dragon Ball Z now and I fast forward through some of the parts.
Nothing happens in the episodes, but there's a lot of episodes.
I don't think that'd be good for
I don't fast
Deserted
forward
Island. I do. There's a lot of
I like
padding in that damn show. There's a lot of rest holds in Dragon Ball Z.
I watch a lot of cartoons though. Like have like a speed racer.
I think
Giant
like
helmet running with
SpongeBob is a good answer.
Oh, that's a
It wouldn't
perfect
be
answer
my
for me.
answer, but I think it's a good answer.
That might be a perfect answer for me.
Like I think it's more animation than like Curb Your Enthusiasm a little bit,
That's a good one.
but like I think live action TV shows are almost always linear, and the characters have growth from one point to the other. It's like it's hard, but with animation they are a bit more random.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would pick like South Park. I think would be my TV show. So I'll go South Park, Goodfellas, and Stadium Arcadium, which is kind of a cheat because it's a double album. But
Okay. That's still a good
That
choice.
works.
I bought one CD. It counts.
I go. What's the story? Morning Glory by Oasis. TV show Lost, appropriate.
That's
And
show.
movie
Gilligan's
Army
Island. I would accept.
Army of Darkness for my movie. I could watch that movie till the
Oh,
day I
yeah.
die and find enjoyment every time.
Yeah.
Director's cut, so I get all the endings.
I like it. All right. Danny, not DeVito, says, do you make yourself in video games with character creators? No matter how long I try, I can never get it right and usually end up with nightmare fuel looking ass Commander Shepard, etc.
I almost always make the hottest redhead I possibly can,
I have exactly the same as Don.
and then I play as her.
My wife's like, "Why did you make a female character?" I'm like,
It's literally across almost every game.
Yeah.
Like I play the same redheaded character across all these different games. There have been a few exceptions when I've replayed a game, or I didn't jive. So like, I have flipped genders a few times. Like I played Cyberpunk one way the first time as a redhead, and then the second time I played as male V. I've done that in Assassin's Creed a couple times. So a few times I'll color out of the lines, but like especially if your character is more of an avatar and less of a character,
Yeah.
I almost always exclusively do some redhead chick with purple eyes. I like what I like. Leave me alone.
I like it. I respect it. I usually just do default character. Unless it's basketball. If it's basketball, yeah, just regular generic white guy.
Jason.
Oh, good point. When I do sports games, I do make myself. But if I do other games that aren't sports games,
That's fair. Yeah.
I make female character. Well,
I
not
normally
always
don't-
female, but usually.
I haven't done the road to glory or whatever mode for the individual. I haven't played one of those in a long time. I almost always like when I play the sports games, if I'm running like simulations or like franchises, I almost see myself more as the coach than the player.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I make myself.
Nice.
I am him.
When you make
He is me.
yourself, is it about rings or is it about individual? Like, are you getting like 80 points a game,
Oh no! It's team.
or do
I
you
try to-
still play as like the team, like from the coach's perspective?
I play the team like team from coach's perspective, but I try to make myself the best player on the team. I don't like go for 80
You
points.
play your position.
I am more interested in, instead of like trying to win MVPs, like I like trying to like build a roster.
Okay.
So I almost see myself more as the general manager of teams than player on the team.
When I do that, I just don't play. I just play as the team.
Yeah, same. That's
the
how I
season mode.
play
or
most of
franchise
my
mode.
single player sports games.
Yeah.
Is I do like I really love 2K because they've had, I mean, we've talked about this before, but they've had several spin-offs with they have like the 90s league or the 80s. I love that
favorite
stuff.
mode.
So I can go
Yeah.
back in time and kind of build my own fantasy team. That's so much fun.
I like that team. All right. TPR asks, favorite music for a road trip?
Like
Yeah.
a song or just music?
In general,
Music in general. I usually go R&B. Like 80s R&B, stuff like Anita Baker, stuff like that. Just stuff relaxing. Well, just 80s music in general you want to use on a road trip.
Mm.
I'm in a car.
we do alternative rock, grunge, 2000s alternative rock, stuff like that.
I just listen to my music library on shuffle. That's all I ever drive to,
Hmm.
ever. My music library is all over the damn place.
Mine's
Techno
definitely
to
is.
girl pop to metal to new metal to punk to
Yeah.
80s, the 70s to folk music to bluegrass. I've got all of that shit in my library, so I just shuffle it.
Yeah.
But I think fun songs that you can sing as a group are like the best road trip music, especially if you're not alone. I assume you're road tripping with someone.
I don't want to sing with nobody. I want to talk to them. I just want to listen.
You
to
need to do Blister in the Sun.
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody, of course. What's Going On? Yeah, these are all great.
All great songs.
Everybody scream.
I don't want
change
them.
my battery.
I don't want them.
I won't hear you.
I want them to sing with me at all. I don't want to hear them sing. I don't want them in it. Just let me listen to my music and enjoy myself. Sit in the car quietly.
So old.
Yeah, just sit in the car. Go play your Switch in the back and shut the fuck up.
You're so old. We're not gonna be driving down this road making all this noise.
All this. Want to sing to the song.
All this showing off, going on about. Sit there.
Like
be
even
quiet.
now, when me, Delvin, and Brianna are in the car driving places, I just let Delvin play his music. Whatever he wants to play, he just plays. He plays a little hip hop and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, you got it, son. Play your Future. Play your misogynistic music. I'm fine with that.
Free Falling is
Let's
a good
go.
one. Tom
I
Petty
just
is
put
great.
on like one earbud and
Love
listen
me
to a
some Tom
podcast,
Petty.
stuff like that.
I was the only person that pointed out he was in the GTA trailer. Delvin from Florida didn't give a shit.
No.
It's like, you're from there.
Nice a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, I listen to a lot of
That was hilarious.
Stuff
I
like
remember, was it Dev was like, that doesn't sound like Florida. I was like, Tom Petty?
that definitely sounds like Florida.
I think he's on the state flag or something.
It definitely sounds like Florida.
I got it. It didn't sound like Vice City. I get that. That was the point.
Vice City is the
to give him
80s.
some defense.
Yeah.
That is his point. But this isn't that. This isn't that Vice City.
This is
different.
now Florida.
Yeah.
Isn't
I thought
that
it was-
great?
I thought that was very fitting.
All right.
Snert says, "Here I go down this road." I would say on the road again.
Yeah.
The little Willie in there.
Yeah. Good songs. All right. Teresa asks, why is it that sometimes it's just like, whatever? I feel this question.
That's life.
Because sometimes, yeah, exactly. You just nailed it. Sometimes it's like, bro, I just got up in the morning. It is 6:59. I have to go to work, and I like, fuck this. This day's over. I want to go back to bed.
Getting older, becoming an adult is like, I think I ask myself more often than ever, like, what's the point? Like, what are we all doing, man?
Yeah.
Like, is this it? But yeah, that's kind of the gig.
Yeah. We do this until we're old and we die.
Pretty much.
And hopefully we get reincarnated to something better.
No thanks. No reincarnation, please.
Oh, we
Once
don't.
is enough.
We just sit in dirt.
Yeah, just get me back to the earth.
That's fine too. Whatever we may like. Yeah. Sometimes it's just like, whatever.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
All right, Josh, I need you to do something for me.
Okay, what?
You've listened to this show before. You listened to Nintendo Shack. So when I say this, you probably should know what to say.
Oh, boy.
Kyle the Pug asked.
Oh, fuck you, Kyle the Pug.
There it is.
There it is.
One of us.
One of us.
Your status in the Ocho
I know.
validated.
Validated. Good job. What are your go-to pizza toppings? I think this was asked for. Yes, it was.
my
But in
God.
case anybody has updated answers, feel free to share what they are.
Oh God, I could give you. So when I was in high school, I was general manager of a Domino's.
Okay.
2 to 3 years. So I've done all of the menu pizzas. I've made my own. I've played with all the stuff. I have an extensive research in this area.
Okay.
And my favorite, like my go-to pizza, like it's a Friday night, I want to order pizza. I just want to order a good pizza and eat it.
Okay.
Is pepperoni, green pepper, mushroom. It's kind of like just the traditional, the standard, like the go-to pizza.
Sounds pretty good, actually.
Kind of get a little bit of everything, right? So I like that. Get a little crunch, get the vegetable, get the pepperoni, the cheese. It's kind of basic. I also love a great buffalo chicken pizza.
Okay.
I do love a pineapple Hawaiian pizza. I am one of the pineapple and pizza folks, but a lot of folks do it wrong. You have to add bacon. It needs to be ham, pineapple, and bacon.
You need bacon on it.
Some people do onions. I'm not an onions guy, but you can throw onions on as well. But the bacon is important. You need the sweet and the salty. You need both.
Okay.
So if you're fucking it up, stop doing that.
I don't like pineapple
Get a
pizza, but I'm
real
fine with
Hawaiian. And I also drizzle a little, like I've been on the Hawaiian, do like the Parmesan, do a little shredded Parmesan on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's also very good. So those would kind of be my go-tos. I love
Okay.
those.
See, I usually order what my kids want now, and they're like, they have the palate of 4-year-olds. They like don't want like vegetables or
Cheese.
pizza, nothing like that. So they usually just like want cheese,
I do love a good cheese pizza.
which I do like. I like cheese. Like
Yeah.
they have like the 6 cheese pizza, something like that. I think it's called, which is pretty good. Or I usually get like bacon in my pizza, pepperoni, sausage, stuff like that, like meat lovers.
Meat lovers.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Generally speaking, I'm not opposed to pineapple on pizza. I just don't want it. But
Sure.
it's fine. I like mushrooms on my pizza too. I just get those on that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sausage is a good inclusion. Sometimes I put sausage on my green pepper mushroom pizza.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite pizza is margarita pizza. I know that's pretty basic, but I just am a huge mozzarella fan. But going off of basic, I think I've like really recently I've just been a huge barbecue chicken pizza fan. So that's kind of been my go-to recently.
Also
just
very
like a
good.
nice solid barbecue chicken pizza is just like perfect. Sometimes like I go back and forth with onions on it because
Yeah.
people can really mess up onions on a
Yes, they can.
pizza. So I'd rather just do it without, but if it's on there, no worries.
Try it. I wish anybody in my house liked the buffalo.
Yeah.
My kids, my wife, they hate the buffalo sauce. And I keep trying to tell
that's
them, like, dude, a
unfortunate.
buffalo chicken pizza is legit great. Like, as good as wings great.
Yeah,
When done well, it's very good.
I agree with you too on that.
Okay.
My wife does the white pizza.
I
Ugh.
don't think I've ever had that
The
one.
Alfredo, the spinach.
Yeah, my wife gets chicken broccoli Alfredo pizza. And I'm like,
That doesn't sound
okay,
good.
enjoy your pizza, but no, thank you. That's
That's
not a pizza. That's pasta.
Yeah,
Pasta with bread instead of
Yeah.
noodles. Like, it's pasta. Ugh.
Yes. All right. Our final question from D Life. What do you
Oh,
think
boy.
of Michael Jordan coming back
Okay,
as the special contributor for NBA on NBC?
he must be broke.
That definitely is the case.
That's why he's
That is-
back. He has no money.
I think they are like giving him the whole bag.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
love
more
it.
Michael Jordan is not a bad thing, I think, but
Yeah.
it's an interesting move.
I'm not
I'm
going to
sup-
say it is, but I don't think I would rule it out as it could be. I don't
It could be.
know. I don't know what Michael Jordan's, capacity is as a commentator.
That's what I was
I
thinking.
find it surprising he's not on inside the NBA. So he's coming to NBC.
That's correct.
Is that who's doing the NBC broadcast? Like, who's he working with?
I don't know. But that's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
If you don't want the basketball score
Mike Tirico,
spoiled, don't look too hard.
Nope.
Jamal Crawford, and Reggie Miller.
Okay,
Oh.
him and Reggie's going to be good. Okay.
So I don't know that. Like, that's the thing. I don't know what Michael Jordan is like on the microphone. All I've ever heard from him is shit talk on the court of the golf course.
I think it's going to be a little bit of that. Him and
So-
Reggie Miller shit talking to each other. That's going to be pretty fun.
I wonder if they'll shit talk the players they're watching.
Oh, they're definitely going to. I think Mike will.
Yeah, but I'm sure Michael Jordan just prints money. That's
yeah.
not the problem. Like,
I
and
think
the royalty checks have got to be through the roof.
I think it's going to be cool to see Michael Jordan consistently talk about basketball because we've never really got that. He's always kind of
No.
been like here, like you hear, like hearing from him like once in a while, like oh, this is special. Michael
He's
Jordan's
around.
He's around,
He's
but
been
you
an
don't really,
owner.
Yeah.
He's had ownership in multiple places. He's been an advisor, so like you see him, but no, we don't hear him. He doesn't give us his opinions on the game
Correct.
at all. He's
Yeah.
not really involved with like USA basketball. the league, like that's not really a thing. So I'd be interested in hearing what thoughts he may or may not have. Like,
yeah, who he likes, who he doesn't like.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think getting him mic'd up and watching Ant is like kind of must see TV. Like you kind of want him to cover a Wolves game immediately because Ant constantly gets compared to MJ.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting.
Hearing him talk about how players currently play would be interesting as well. The overuse of the 3-point shot, and I'm interested in it. I dig it.
I wonder. I have some reservation that maybe off the cuff he might not be so good. I believe a lot of the times that I've heard him speak over the decade, I think a lot of it's either been very edited or prepared. Like it's a lot of official statements.
Yeah,
it's I don't know about like I've heard when I hear him as a commentator, I've heard him mic'd up at Pebble Beach a few times, and it's like not what I would say is like captivating commentary. But I don't know. Maybe it's different when he's not playing. It's not a joke. He's taking it seriously. I don't know.
I think he has to just let him be unfiltered. Let him be Michael Jordan.
You don't want that to happen.
Well, that won't happen on
NBC. There's a version of Michael Jordan in this world a lot of millions of people don't want to know about.
I know.
So don't let that happen. That's a terrible idea, Delvin. That's the worst possible thing you can do.
You gotta let him be Michael Jordan. Let him.
You can't just be like, "Yay, Mike, just say whatever the fuck you want, dude." Like people are not ready. Trust me.
Hey, sometimes you gotta let him do it. Hey, you gotta let him
people
fly.
Are not ready. I wonder if they'll catch him like trying to lay a parlay or something off Mike on
during the game.
During the game, he was like, "LeBron, I need you to get me this. I got 20 on this game." You're like, "Oh shit."
Oh yeah. To answer your question, Jess, Reggie Miller's sister was not only a basketball player, she was an excellent basketball player, like a legendary basketball player.
Scored 100.
She was like the basketball player. She was like great.
Yeah. She was better than him, for sure.
Yeah, by a lot.
Yeah.
Considered one of the greatest basketball players in history. Good. Greatest women's basketball players, at least. She's that good. But yeah, I'm excited. See, D-Life said, I pay to see the real Mike.
I bet you would, but that's like a Barstool, TKO thing. Like that's a YouTube thing. That's not an NBC thing. There's a difference.
It's going to be on Peacock now, probably.
Yeah, you're trying to fucking Pat McAfee NBA too? Like, we can't be doing this shit, man.
I would love to see it.
But you root for chaos on all turns.
In this case, yes, I do.
The fact that you're like, I'd love to see it is all we need to know that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Great idea. It's a great idea. Give that man a cigar and a betting slip and let him go.
I mean, I'm just going to tell you, I don't think the chance is high, but it's not as low as people would expect. There's a chance dude gets canceled after that. There's a chance he lets some shit slip.
Yeah.
And we're all on the next show going, he should have never done that. He should have never gone on the microphone. That chance is not as low as you think it is.
Yeah, it's likely.
Saying.
It's likely. It's on the table.
Yeah, it's on the table.
It's on the table.
It's like the third possible outcome.
Yes. Yes.
There's like he's good at it, he's bad at it, gets ran out of town.
Yes, get like we cannot like people are like burning Jordans.
Yeah. Trump is making comments on the remarks Michael Jordan had. Exactly. That's like the third possible outcome out of this.
Out of these three outcomes, that third one sounds kind of fun.
That's how we are in this situation. That's why this country is where it is.
Thank you.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, it's like he's really great at it, and everybody's like, "Why has he been doing this the whole time?" The second one, I think, is not that he's bad at it; it's probably maybe he's boring at it. Yeah, you're like, "Oh, this is it." Like, "Oh, this isn't."
Which I think if they don't let him be Mike, he's just gonna be boring at it.
And that's what
he's gonna be D Wade.
Yeah, so like that's like I think the second likeliest outcome, and then right behind that is he lets some shit said that angers some group of people.
Yes.
That's what I'd be worried about.
Yeah, because my thing, I think he's gonna end up being like D Wade.
Because he's that
D Wade's not interesting.
I agree with you. I watched him. I heard him on Summer League, and then I think he called like one of the games during the season that I watched. as like a special commentator.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is boring as hell. Except I loved him during the Olympics.
Oh yeah, he was good.
But he was so much looser during. He was literally yelling at our own players as they came by the booth, like in reception. He'd be like, "Good shot," like, what?
Because he was having fun.
He was having fun,
Yeah,
and that was really fun. That was great.
Yeah, I'll let Mike do that.
It was hilarious. I think it was LeBron or I think it was Ant. Ant come run by after he just gave us some 3. And Wade was like, "You just gonna let him punk you like that?" And like it's on the bike. He just ran by. Yeah. And whoever they had next to him, some actual commentator, was like, "And we're back." This shit was funny as hell. It was so good. I loved it.
Just. We can't handle it. The Charles Freeman commentators.
Y'all really are just racing to the bottom. Huh?
You're truly going for chaos.
Racing to the bottom. You just don't care anymore, huh? Let's light the scandal.
I love Spree well. Spree for 3 was my guy. But nah, you can't have more commentary.
Spree was nobody's guy, for one. Okay, let's just put it that way.
Spree for 3. Well, he choked somebody, so he's about that life. He's really about that life. Yeah.
It cost him.
Yeah, it definitely did. Wasn't the braids.
Is that it?
That's it. I think we're done. We made it.
Show.
Fun show.
Out before 1 a.m.
Yeah, we did it.
This is perfect. Dev leaving was perfect timing because I have to be at work at like 8 a.m. So, perfect.
Yep, there you go. Well, that's it. Thank you guys.
Nobody's sleeping in the middle of the bed. The middle of the bed is only where you do the business. But when everybody's ready to sleep, it's the side of the bed that can't be beat. It's the middle of the bed where lovers meet. But when it comes time to slumber, it's the edges. Ooh, 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 the edges.